Listeners, welcome to Inforunners. I'm Execute, joined today by Old Man Hurston, Algared. How you doing?
Really well. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I
Yeah.
think this is the closest we've got. The closest we've got to an 8 a.m. start.
Hey,
8:01.
hey! After 7 years, man, we're professionals. Well, what a week. I was just saying to Algared before the show. I've had a real mixed bag of a week. It started out like the shittest week on earth. And it got worse, and then it got better. It got worse, and then it got better. It was a roller coaster for me this week. I've had a real week. It's been really weird. So yeah, real strange one.
Yeah.
So I was saying to you before the show. I read that a fairly big streamer's father passed away. I don't know if the news has kind of gone wide yet, but it'll go wide eventually. But and his father passed away, and I went, well, it could always be worse. But you had a weakness. Do you want to talk about?
I know when you say it like that, it sounds callous, but
Yeah,
it's true. Like you can be having a crap week, and you know that somewhere someone's probably having a worse week than you.
Well, do you want to talk about your week? Because
my week started off great. It was fine. Wednesday night had a bit of a turn, and spent a day in hospital, so that was joyous.
I had to ask Piss Poor Pete to fill in for you. He said no, and then you turned up anyway, so it was all good.
Yep. You know, Pete's in.
He's in Twitch. I'm giving him shit. He said he might turn up if he felt like it.
I'm starting to think he just dislikes us or dislikes me because every week we see him in there, and I say, "Hey, come and join us! Come and join us!"
I was really tempted to say, Algared purposely asked me to ask you just to see what he would say. But I didn't. So what I was going to end up doing was I was just going to do it solo, and I was going to just do and
that's why it was up in flames because
No, the up in flames was because apparently lots of people are having issues with the patch, but I'm not having that. And it is a hard act to follow. Like Adam and I have talked about getting a third person for a really long time, but we just can't find anyone that has what either of us has, and we mean that as in like a knowledge base. Like everyone we talk to, it's hard to talk like it's stuff we've learned over 7 years. You can't just like shove that into someone. We've met people that either have like this massive knowledge base, but they don't have a personality, or they have a personality but they don't have the knowledge base, or they have this weird thing that's in between the two, but it's not both.
Look, and in fairness, I think it also takes a long time to build the rapport. And that working relationship, and it's taken us a long time
because we're very different people as well, right?
Oh
yeah.
And it's the odd couple. It's the odd couple,
and we still talk through issues all the time. Like I'll piss Algared off, or he'll do the same, and we'll sit there and it used to be yelling matches. Now it's a lot more. Okay, yeah, I'm listening. Okay, yeah, I'm listening. I got to work on this back and forward.
I don't agree with you, but I'm listening.
Yeah. but we get there, right? We make it work, and that's the main thing. All right, what have I got to go through this week?
Steve wants to know if the bot's working, so
shit, thanks Steve. Steve's on that every week now. I have to. Yeah, he reminds me every time. I appreciate it.
After 7 or 8 years, that's an insult. It probably is close to that. Yes.
Oh, this is not looking good.
Bot does not look happy.
No, I don't know what's going on there. All right. That took a really long time to start up.
It did. It was very slow.
All right. She's up. That's good. I don't know if she's going to last, though, because I've never seen it take that long to start. That was weird. But yeah, she's up. So we'll see how she goes. Yep.
Radium.
First question came in. Stepping back. Thank you.
And Radium, yes, it's always amazing how a day in hospital can change your mood in the near future.
Well, the thing
really tired, but yeah.
The thing that surprised me is how long you were waiting. Like it was close to 24 hours, Algared. It was crazy.
No, it was probably close to 6.
Because it was really late at night. Like, what'd you say, 9 p.m.? But then I contacted you at you contacted me at like 9 a.m. in the morning, and you were still sitting there.
No. No, it was 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, but then it was like the last message you sent me on the phone was at like 1:30 in the afternoon. And then
it must be the internet. Yeah, the internet at the hospital was absolutely awful.
Oh, right. I was gonna say.
So it probably got late. But,
right. Okay. Fair enough.
But it was yeah, it was about 2 a.m. before they decided, yep, you're staying here for a short stay, so come this way. Yes, that's an insult when New South Wales Health has a lot of issues. I was surprised how long it took the ambos to get there as well. And then the waiting room issues. But once, you know, they they still do a fairly good job of looking after you. And but yeah, wouldn't have wanted to be doing CPR and waiting for that ambo, because that was a long wait.
It's just we don't have the infrastructure here. It's
but I assume had it been more serious, the ambos would have been like emergency rather than.
All right. So they released what was it? Virtuous Descent.
Virtuous Descent.
Was interesting. I can see why it was called that, implying that you have to do good. And into the new area you go into, you have to go down this big elevator. So I get it.
And you've got to play the healer and the med.
Not really.
That seems to be the implication. That seems to be the implication they're giving.
That's their implication in the trailer, but it makes absolutely no sense if you go there. You'll understand if you go there. It's just they're trying to tie medical to it, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with it. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like, and you can go look at the comments on the trailer and stuff like that. It is pretty funny. Yeah. But yeah, I know they're trying to make a story or whatever, but they're also trying to sell some armor, Algared. That's
Yep. But you got to say the cinematics are out the ballpark.
Yeah, they're definitely getting a lot better. So I'm really keen to see what comes out in Squadron from that regard. Again, an hour and 15-minute trailer that was pretty much full of them. It was really interesting. I don't want to talk about this again. It came up, so I was on with Stardump yesterday. I am really sick of these bundles. And I know there are people buying them, and that's cool. But you are setting up a future that is going to hurt us all. I've said this multiple times now. Like, if you want one of these bundles or want one of the items in that, they will eventually be in game, like all the subscriber flare and shit like that that's done in the past. You just have to be patient and wait, because essentially a future of bundling is going to hurt us all. And it's happened in other games, and it's really bad. Like, I really hate that they're doing bundling. You might want the skin for the ship. It should be $12 separately, or even more expensive, like $16 or something like that, to encourage you to buy the bundle. I have no problem with the bundle. It's the fact that there is no individual way to buy the items.
Yep.
Again, as soon as it's on a ship that you don't own, so say you don't own the Cutlass, that's dead weight. So yeah.
Yeah. And if it's and if it's a ship bundle, if we've already got a Cutlass, you don't need another one. So
it's not a ship bundle. It's just skins. They're all vanity items, but the point still stands. Like, you might like one thing in the bundle, but not the whole thing. And it's the bundling itself. And we've seen this in other games, and it's had really big knock-on effects. The real big publicized one was World of Warships. And interestingly enough, I hope Galactica's talking about this, because Galactica worked at World of Warships, and she left just as this was coming in, apparently. So I would hope to think that she's got enough. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't want to put a job at risk. I don't know. But I'd hope that she'd have enough gumption to stand up and say, I saw this and it didn't end well. But, I'm not going to ask her to put a job at the line if that's the case. But, yeah, I'm a bit annoyed by this, and I'm not the only one. The other thing you'll notice is if you go back and look at the other patch bundles, they've essentially dropped by $2 almost every time, because they're clearly not selling enough. And I think the message they're not receiving is it's not the price. It's the fact that they're together. I think if you separated them, you'd find that they'll sell totally fine. It's just that you're forcing us to buy shit that we don't own. It's that simple. Oh, look, I love that skin, right? On the guy, but I don't own a Cutlass. I'd buy that instantly. You know, and I don't particularly like the gun. No, I mean well, I don't need the ship skin because I don't own a Cutlass. I've got a different skin that I think's better, but I like the armor on the guy. I also don't like the gun. So I only like 1 out of the 3. So in my case, buying that, let's be honest, what's the most expensive? Like $12 for an armored skin. So basically, you work that through. They want me to pay more than double to get that, and I'm just no jump. You know, and again, you look at this objectively, which is a very hard thing to do. You do that with any of the skin packs that have come along this year. Oh, by the way, the black market or the grey market for this shit is insane. So literally, the patch that ended yesterday when the patch came out, right, is already selling for $200 US. That's the going rate. As soon because they're a one and done item, the price just skyrockets.
That's insane.
And that's mainly because you've got to pay war bonds. So the person buying it has to, like, they can't just use credit and invest willy-nilly or put it into their buyback. They've got to buy it and hold on to it, and that's why the price is so high. It's more of a gamble for them, you see. That's why it costs so much.
Yep. I wonder whether the bundling, like the Elysium bundle, is linked to the star system, the Elysium star system. And the reason I say that is because that is the system that was that's actually the Devaran homeworld, the place that we salted.
Is it a big crime place, or?
Well, it's where the homeworld of the Devaran. It's where the basically flashpoint of the first Devaran war started. And after that, we basically terraformed it. We salted it, made it suitable for human habitation, and it's where the second Devaran war ends with their warlord basically flying their ships into the atmosphere when they're lost. So
warms the cockles of the old man Hurston's heart. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Oh dear, just teasing. But yeah. All right. So yeah, that's just something I want to bring up. We had this, Algared. I don't know if you follow this because you're in hospital, but the code is here. If you want it, I did send it to you because I figured you were probably missing it. It was completed when you.
I did miss it. I'll have to see if I can still get it.
I did. No, you can. I sent it through to you. It opens this page here, so I can send that through to you right now. Hang on, give me 2 seconds. Where are you? There you are. So there you go. If you just go in there.
I like that skin.
And what skin?
That skin on the big skull on the
oh yeah, oldie bit of good.
The little cutter. That's a really nice.
On the cutter.
Was it the cutter?
No, Avenger, Corsair, and Asgard Valkyrie, or Asgard.
But I like the big skull. That one.
Yeah, on the Ursa. On the Ursa, right.
That's nice. I like that.
So if you scroll down here, you can put your code in here, and what it gives you is these you get basically some skull crossbone crates that were in one of the other packs earlier. And I reckon there are people that brought the pack just to get the crates. The irony.
It's like we say, everything is going to be available at some point.
Well, again, if I'd brought that pack, I'd be melting it because everyone else got it for free. It's pretty funny. Actually, I've got to melt some stuff here too today. I did go back and buy us the concierge stuff. So we do. CIG gave all the content creators an Apollo triage to give away. So I brought a CCU. We're gonna break the mold, and we'll give a medevac away because why do what everyone else is doing? So we'll just change it a little bit and make it a medevac. But yeah, I got to melt some of those skins off later. I always buy 5 of them and put them into buyback. But yeah. Oh, I can't do it yet. It's not 24 hours. Right. Anyway, I'll come back and do that later. What's next?
So that'll be nice, having the Apollo.
I think that's it. Well, it's been a very light week for news, other than, essentially all this build up and it's essentially released. I haven't been having all these bugs, but I've heard there's a lot of people that are just saying it's really buggy.
Which, in answer to the question someone did ask in chat earlier, what's up in Flames? And from reports from people saying the patch itself is buggy. I haven't had a chance to get in because
reasons.
The second half of the week I was otherwise detained. So yeah,
I have to find the channel on the Discord that Lemming put the giveaway in, and I can't remember. There it is. Giveaways. Right. Citizen Direct Digital Con. Right. So view giveaway. So this is we put up. This will end. It's timed. It's in 2 hours time. So this will end in 2 hours time. I will
and then we'll do that at the end of the stream.
Yeah. So you can either read it off the screen and end it that way. Or I could just post it in chat, couldn't I? Hang on, give me a second. I gotta go back to this. Copy this. So I'll put it in YouTube for you there, and I'll put it in Twitch for you there. So basically, if you're watching the stream, you can grab it from there. So that's pretty fair. And yeah, we've got 57 entries there for that.
Yeah, so you're in a good chance to win if no one else joins. 1 in 57 chance, but.
Because we tried giving it away via the usual means, but then there were issues, so we just did it this way in the end. But yeah, we'll probably do the Apollo giveaway when we do the review, which will probably be this weekend, I think. We already did a long video on it, didn't we?
So we did a fairly long video, first impressions and first looks.
I think it'll be probably a little bit more towards the medical side of things. Probably be what we talk about, but I don't know. There's some people that have issues with the ship. I know, like I talked to a couple of people that own it, and that they had some big issues with it.
Yep.
Yeah. This is automatically drawn, by the way. Oh wow, it's already up to 66 people. So wow, that went pretty quick. But yeah, so that'll automatically draw itself. So I'll just step back, Steve. Remind me, sir. Reminds me about everything. So remind me about this. We'll come back to this in an hour and 42 minutes and 8 seconds. And that's for the I brought a digital con goodies pack somewhere here. That's for one of these. One of those is mine, and one for someone to give away. And it turned out too, Algared, I think I told you this. I didn't have my one from last year, and I contacted Concierge, and they apparently had sent a number to me in an email, and I just missed the email. So you might. Do you have that in yours?
I would have to double check.
Yeah, so double check yours, because you and I were both away at the same time, so maybe you missed yours as well. That's going for like $400 now. Wow.
Yep.
Crazy. So
I'll just write myself a note. Excuse me. Check.
Probably. Email.
And it's one of those, like, strike when you've got pages of stuff. It's just so hard to keep on tape of what is missing or not.
Just like it can't just be me, but look at all the stuff from R Corp. Like it just goes on, and I'm set to like 100 things, right? So I've just got like let's just say how far back I go until it hits the 100 limit. But like, there's just so many skins in that. Like, and this is just this year. Okay, so that's last year for the.
Yep.
So yeah, best in show last year. Like Christmas last year. So that's 1 year on one page. It's crazy to me. Like the amount of stuff you get. Like, they give a lot of stuff away. Let's be honest. They really do. They
do give a lot of stuff away.
Yeah.
But it does make it difficult to keep tabs of what you have and don't have.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it's one of the reasons why I don't mind packs. Because they reduced your Hangar by pages.
Well, that's another annoying thing. Like, I went to buy those skins, right? And as soon as I added the 4th skin, it forces to try and you buy it in a pack. So to buy them not in packs, I've actually got to make 2 purchases, which costs you more money because you've got to pay fees and shit. It's annoying. Like, they need an option to say, not put this in pack. It's that simple. Like I know their logic is, oh, why wouldn't you want to buy it as a discount? Because if I ever want to melt it, I can't. That's why. So you're doing a disservice to those that know how your systems work.
There are like I've always said, there are advantages in having a pack, but it does.
Yeah.
And you do get a discount when you buy it in pack, but the disadvantage is you certainly don't get as big a discount as you could if you go the long, slow upgrade path. And I mean that because sometimes to get all the upgrades you want to be able to get that really big discount, it can take years to fill that chain in.
And you can't predict the future, can you? So you never know what's going to change.
That's right. And you can't.
Yeah. So packs really put you in a bind. I just don't like. Again, not. It almost feels like they don't know their own. Well, they either do, and they're evil, which I don't like to think they are, or they don't understand, and they should have little buttons there just to unbundle things.
Well,
or why wouldn't you ask them? Would you like to bundle this and get it for 20%? But the downside is if you like, they're not going to do that because people go no. They'll instantly not bundle them. Yeah.
Well, one of from my memory, one of the things that really was behind the use of the CCUs or upgrades was literally to help those people with bundles, so that you could actually change the ships in your bundles to be the ships you wanted. And originally, the really big bundles used to have doubles, so you used to get two of the military version of each ship. So you'd have two Aurora LXs and two Aurora LNs and two Cutlass Blues and two everything. They changed that, but back in the day, you used to get two of each of those special ships, so that you could and the idea was you would upgrade one, to the next ship you wanted. So, but yeah, that's a long time ago.
Can you take note of what Robert JT said there, and we'll have to talk about that on the weekend. Beacons are in, but
got it.
No, sorry, the medical mission. No, who was it that said it? No service. It was Spikes. No service beacons yet. Holy cow! Back. Well, that's literally because if you actually think about, they actually did reply. This makes a lot of sense. It was built for the old system where you had about 100 people. Now that it's shot up to like 600, 700 people.
Yep. And the server just can't.
No. It'd be
server.
No, listen. It'd be constantly spamming messages because it was spamming messages for every person that had beacon. Now the 700, the messages don't stop. Constant beacons all the time because it does them globally. And that's the problem. They need a way to disseminate them, but they're not spamming the shit out of people.
Yeah, so they need it to be more regional or system-based rather than...
Or just, I don't know, maybe the people turn on that they're a medical person and then it only gives them to them.
Well, you'd hope it even does, if you're... it would be able to do it so that if you're not in range, if you can't get there, if you don't have the fuel to reach that point, it doesn't send it, but that's way down the track of what you want. But at the moment, if they're in and they're going, everyone get that message because that's the way it do. Or maybe it just goes into the mission log. Doesn't spam you, just sits in the mission log.
I think they're having to build a new system for it. And like I said, my brain, how I kind of do the game thing, goes to you flag yourself almost like the guide system. You know how you turn the guide system on and then you turn the guide system off. So they kind of have something already that works like that. You essentially go, I'm a medic looking for a job, and then they start coming in and you just pick one off the board type of thing. And then as soon as you collect one, it turns it off again. So you're only getting spam, so to speak, and that's a really good initial system because it just turns off and on.
Yep.
You don't have to change the code there. It's just only getting new messages if you're asking for them, essentially.
Yep. I could be nice if they also just put it into the mission log, so missions available, medical.
No. They never stop. The fundamental problem is you're being spammed. That's why they've turned it off, right? So if you set it so you turn it on and turn it off, you're only going to get spam for like 1 minute, pick one, and then you turn it off and it just deletes them all. And then you turn it on again and it just spams you again. So that's the tier. I'm talking like tier 0, like how to get it to work right now. That's the best way. Just turn it on and then turn it off. Essentially, you volunteer to be spammed and then volunteer to be not spammed. And that way, if you're not in a medical ship, you could also make it so.
Turn it off.
Well, you could also, I don't know. Maybe you could also make it so that you're not in a medical ship. I don't know why. Well, maybe you're a pirate and you want to get a beacon. There you go. That works.
Maybe you're not in a medical ship, but you're a fast responder and you've got you're loaded up with medical gear. So you go and heal the people who are down but not out. But yeah,
I don't know how to do this on live. Someone asked the question in. I'll just answer the question. So Revenge said, "Have you seen Jump Space?" Yes, I have. I've already purchased it. It's that little co-op game I told you about. It was back in the day. I got it's called Jump Ship. And they had to change their name because apparently someone else has that name or some shit and blah blah blah. You know, typical corporate crap. The two people can't have the same name. Woo, no. Yeah, it's a little 4-player kind of space game. If you like those co-op games, it was $30 Australian, $20 US. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it if you've got if you've got friends. If you don't have friends, well, it sucks to be you. But it is it's a good little game, especially for the price. And it does hit a little fastest and scratch if you like a bit of exploration, a little bit of combat. While you wait for a seat type of thing. I haven't had a chance to jump in and play it because it came out at midnight for us as I was getting into bed. But, it was the last thing I did before I think I went to bed. All right, you got anything else you want to talk about before we get into questions?
No, pretty much it. I've just mulled over the thing. Then we've got. Let's see. Oh yeah, we've got a page and a bit at the moment.
Yep. So I'll let you take the first one, mate.
So the first one is from Rusty Pigeon Gaming channel. He says, "What do you think of the new packs? Also, my Aurora LN starter pack has been pulled out of my buybacks. I have already made a ticket, but I think almost all packs are without Squadron 42." So what do you think of the new packs? Well, I haven't looked at the new packs for a long while because I've tried to
have a look.
Yeah.
Okay. So buy a ship and get a armor for free, I guess is what that is. Is it? But I'm assuming he's talking about like these packs, right? So
I'm assuming he's talking about packs, you know, the ship packs, because he does talk about his LN pack being pulled out of buyback.
So does that? I wonder if that implies a price increase because the ship's changing somehow. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading Lemming reply to someone. You got to use the just for the new people that because I'm missing some stuff. You've got to put the word question in your question, and then our bot sucks it up. So yeah, as long as you can just put question at the start or anywhere in question. If you say anything about a question, we will see it. So if you even ask a question about questions, we'll see that. We get some pretty weird things in there that people don't realize go through to us, but yeah, they come through.
So just to reiterate, just a Lemming put a thing in Twitch saying you need to use question
to tell the person.
And he was telling the person you need to put question in when you're asking the question. That comment will go to our bot.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is every question, every line that has that in goes to the bot, and that enables us to go through the questions at leisure, in detail, without rushing because the question's going to disappear off the screen.
Pete made a suggestion there. Lemming, can you look into that, please? It's not a bad idea. So he's just saying to put a excuse me, I just sneezed. Can you put a thing in so they know how to do it? That's one of the Twitch feature things that, again, I never get around to doing, but and Lemming's got the power to do that. Right.
Yep. That's a good idea, Pete. Thank you.
A Jeweler's Pirate Week starter pack. So essentially that's just an Avenger that drops by $15 plus you get the skin. That's pretty good value, but you're not getting LTI. We kind of know LTI is not as important as it used to be. But I'm going to be honest. I think you kind of want it on a package, because the package is the thing that you tend to hold on to, and you do tend to upgrade that over time, especially if you're only getting one ship. The Privateer Week one again drops in price, plus you get a skin. So they're not terrible packs. Those two. All the others we've kind of seen before. Well, I don't see any that are new, Agra. Do you? I don't see any. There, so it's just those.
Not that I can see there.
Those two
They
up
seem.
there. They are good savings. But I think you and I will just go back to just give everyone LTI. Come on.
Yeah. Look, I've been arguing that since 2014.
I've been arguing that a quarter of my life, Algared. A quarter of my life, been arguing this shit.
But I've made the argument that I know that they said, you know, LTI would only be at this point, and that was only on ships that had never been sold. But realistically, anyone who's paying cash for a ship, should have LTI on it. And I say that because CIG have always said LTI is not a thing. It's a minor convenience. Yeah. If you pay cash for it, put LTI. If you buy it in game, okay, fine, no LTI.
Yeah, they've essentially come out and said, like they kind of said this for CitizenCon last year, didn't they? That essentially it'll just come faster if you have LTI. And they never said like it's half as fast or anything like that. They just said it's faster.
And then you've got the other thing to consider that the ships you buy in game, they're not going to be the top tier ship. The top tier ships are going to be the ships you make. Yeah. You know, if you build a ship using the best grade materials, it's going to be better than anything you can buy.
Not to say you can't upgrade these though, but they've in a weird way devaluated all of these by going, oh yeah, you can upgrade them 5 times. Like, is that something they're going to sell in the future, Algared? Are you going to be able to go, all right, here's my arrow, you know, I don't know what the percentage. So every 10% extra I pay, so every $9 extra I pay, I'm able to preemptively upgrade that by 1 rank.
I thought that pre-purchase things would have a rank and the LTI would have a slightly higher rank. I think that's how they were kind of talking about it. But it's all a bit vague.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Yeah.
But there were certainly more ranks you could get as you're building stuff, depending on the things and depending on the components. And I don't know whether they'll sell the upgrades on the store. I kind of hope they don't.
All right, someone's telling me we need to check the big packs.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll scroll down. I don't see multi-crew pack. That seems new. Escort pack. That seems new. Industrial pack seems the same. Old. It's just these two, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like that. And I can't see the Legatus pack.
Convoy pack's old. Yeah, so they've changed some around. These two are new. All right, let's have a look. 8 vehicles for $1,700. Ares, Infernos, MX, Hornet, Meteor. No, that's junk. Nope, it's all fighters. Piss off.
It's their escort pack. Of course, it can be fighters.
Yep. That they should call that the rip-off pack. But self-awareness would be great.
What I do notice there though is also it's LTI because it's over 1,000, but B the UEC 50,000 UEC, whereas the cap used to be 20,000. So the UEC's gone up.
Not the. What's the discount on this one, Hangar? Carrack Expedition, a Hammerhead, a Perseus, and a Polaris. I can kind of get behind those. Like the only ship in that I think that's crap is the Hammerhead, but you've got room to upgrade that into say a Nautilus, an A2, an Odyssey. No, you can't do an Odyssey. Fuck. There's no. Yeah, that sucks. The Hammerhead was the bad choice there, CIG. That was a pack I probably could have got it behind until you put the Hammerhead in it.
There'll be people who like the Hammerhead, and I'm sure there'll be something you could upgrade the Hammerhead to down the track.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. But just to realize, Algared, to put it in perspective, there was a $50 gap between where the Hammerhead is now and where the Polaris started.
Yeah, I know.
There's not a lot of ships that fall into that $250 window before.
Nope.
Yeah. Really sucks. That would have been a pack I could probably have recommended to someone, but again, it's very combat focused too. Let's be honest. Other than the Carrack, obviously, the rest of it is all
all combat.
Yeah.
Now, Rusty Pigeon Gaming Channel also said most packs don't have Squadron 42, and yes, that is deliberate.
Yeah.
Like Sandy, when we were talking with Sandy, one of the things she said, we asked, why Squadron 42 disappear? And she said, well, you're not we were asking people to pay for them, and they weren't getting. There was nothing for what they were getting, and she doesn't like that. She doesn't like the idea of getting you to pay 15, 20, 40 bucks or whatever it is for a pack where you don't have the game.
There's essentially no loaner type of thing.
Yeah. And so because there's nothing for it, it's been removed until it's available. So that's why Squadron 42 generally isn't in packs at the moment. I think on the really big packs you still get it. So Legatus, Praetorian, those packs should get it. But yeah, other than that, that's the reason why.
These two other items: Carrick name reservation, Hammerhead name reservation. You do get the can you even buy the expedition anymore? I don't think you can you?
I don't think so.
Only in packs, as far as I'm aware. So it's a lot of money though, right? Because like I look at that, and that's $400 shy of a Javelin. That's more than a Kraken. And being restricted like that, I really want to add up the discount, but I just was it 600 for the Carrick Expeditions, like 620 or 630 or something like that. But I want to say 600 because I know the Carrick 600, right? So 600, 700, 675, and that'd be pricing that at 975 now because of the thing. So I'm just gonna the calculator.
Yeah, so they'd be priced on the current sale price of ships.
So 975.
It's probably about
plus 675 plus 700, and I know it's more than that. I think it's like 6. I'm just gonna go 600 because I know the Carrick's that, but I know the expedition costs more. It's 2,950, right? So it's roughly 10%. Not very good, Algared. That's not very good. But even with CCUs, I think you get them, and that's 4 ships that are high end. I think you could do better than that easily.
You can do better than that. Like that's one of the things I said. You can do. If you're willing to take the time, you will get every ship in every pack. You can get for significantly cheaper.
Yeah. But like the packs that we saw of old were 20 to 30%. So they've lowered them, and I would say, generalistically, the ship choice is better, with the exception of the Hammerhead.
Probably the advantage of this pack is, apart from the 2 name reservations, which come with those types of ships anyway, any ship that's had name reservation goes into that pool. But the advantage of that is because it doesn't have any of the fluff items, the price is basically the price of the ships.
Lemming, if you're listening real quick, can you give us your take in Twitch or whatever, or you can jump in if you want. It's up to you. But I'm pretty sure he'd agree that we're seeing a lowering of the CCUs. We're also seeing a lowering of the packs. So look, again, you'd have to specifically want those 4 ships because they are so high end. The only other ones you can upgrade into are themselves, and then some of them go to an Odyssey, some of them go to an A2, and I think that's it there in there. I think that's there's not
the other thing you'd probably be wanting to do is, if you're looking at buying those packs, hopefully if you've been a subscriber, you've got the vouchers, and you could apply a voucher which would bring the price down $100 if you use the 20% voucher, because they only go up to 100, or $50 off if you use the lower one. But you've got to be a subscriber to do that, which means you've already paid out cash.
Yeah, so Lemming does make a point. The purse is yet to come out, so obviously that's going to jump in price too. So you've kind of technically got to add that saving to it as well. Monster Avery pointed out that it's roughly around about a $415 savings currently. That would go up by
whatever the purchase
150 maybe. Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark, 75 to 150 at most.
And then if you do what Hook was suggesting, or which was basically use the voucher, the discount voucher, you can bring that up to a $500 odd, $515 plus savings. So
getting more reasonable. But the real tricky point there is that Hammerhead, because she's not in a good place right now. And you'd obviously want. I can see what they're doing though. Like you've kind of got a complete coverage there, don't you? You've got your Explorer. But I would say 3 of those ships are takers, and what I mean by that is they drain resources. They don't, like, the Carrick will give you information that you can sell, but the others are all combat related, so they constantly need feeding. I would have personally probably, this is just me, I don't know if you agree with this, Algared. Feel free to shoot me down. But I would have dropped the Hammerhead and replaced it with something like the Orion or the Reclaimer, so you can bring resources in to feed the others.
I don't know if I certainly would have considered a Reclaimer, because that's a multi-person salvage ship, and to really get the most out of a Reclaimer, you really do want.
Yeah. So the Reclaimer might have been the better one to go with because it's in the game currently too, where the Orion is not in the game currently and it's not scheduled to be around for a while. So that probably would be the safer of the two. But you get my meaning, right? Like, because you've then got something that can feed, like you got two ships, the Carrack and the Reclaimer, that could have fed the two expended ships. And essentially they're all in the game right now. So that actually would be, that's what I would do.
I wouldn't have minded seeing the Mole. So the Mole would have been another good choice for a multi-crew ship.
You could have
mining, because that's a 3-person ship.
Yeah,
Again,
but there's two things here. There's not many ships in it, which I kind of like in a pack. But also, if you instead of doing the Mole, I would have gone the Orion, but give the Mole as a loner, because the loners for the Orion are the Mole and the Prospector. So that's probably how I would have done it. But again, you could have done both of those. Yeah, I could extend it to 5. But yeah.
If you did have a Mole, if you did have your Orion in there, you've got the Mole. You would have got the Mole as a loner.
Yeah. I wouldn't do. I wouldn't.
And if you put the Orion in, you're going to jack up the price. So.
But it's called the multi-crew pack, and I would. I would say while that you get a couple of people in the Mole, it's not exactly the same experience as the other ships in the list, and that's clearly what they're going for. The high number of people in that pack. That's what they're going for. So yeah, I'd say the Mole does not work in that pack.
Well, the Carrack's only what, 4 to 6.
No, they're all like 5. I'd have to go look. I think they're all like 5 to 8, or every one of those ships at least. You know, I know the Hammerhead's like 9, the Perseus is 6 to 8, the Polaris is I think
Perseus is 6.
12 plus the like 13 or 12 for the Polaris, and the Carrack I'd have to actually look up. I haven't looked that up in a while. Let me do it real quick. Let's just do it live. Star Citizen. Oh god, I can't spell it all day. Star Citizen Wiki. Carrack. Took this out yesterday for the first time in ages. It was a really long time. Because it's showing some in the game.
I still like the Carrack. 4 to 6.
4 to 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I thought 4.
Yeah, it's definitely lower than some of the others, but yeah.
And the Perseus is only 6 minimum, 6 maximum. So
I'd say the Perseus is in the same ballpark, but again, it's more a Rastra area than Mole.
But
yeah, I wouldn't.
But you know, if you're looking,
I can tell it's not what they're going for in that pack. Yeah, I can just tell.
If you're looking for ships though that can bring stuff in, then I was thinking, okay, Mole's probably the biggest. Mining ship that's currently in game
as a loner,
Reclaimer,
but it's not what they're going for. They're going Corvette capital. You can tell that they're all Corvette capitals in that pack.
Yeah, and so in that case, you'd go Orion, Reclaimer.
Yeah,
that would have been two nice ships to have in that pack.
I could have given you Rastra even. I'll give you the Rastra easily because they all fall into that large bracket. So yeah. But that would be my recommendation, because anyone you talk to, because let's be honest, a pack like that is not really going to be for a new person. It's going to be for a person that knows those ships, and anyone that plays the game will tell you the Hammerhead's not in a great spot right now.
Now, just to cut in slightly, Mega Tiger Ninja says, but they can't use the Orion yet, so why include it when you can get them to upgrade to it later? Because it's a capital ship, and I've yet to see an upgrade to an Idris, to a Polaris, so I don't think you'll be able to upgrade to an Orion.
You can upgrade to a Polaris, and you can currently upgrade to an Orion right now. I think what it is, and I'm working this out slowly, right? I think they know the final price of ships before they even sell them. And for example, the Polaris, I think they knew the price of the Polaris beforehand. And the reason I'm hedging my bets is, like, the example I'll give you is the Pioneer. Yep. I think though that initially started selling at $850, they knew it was going to go over $1,000, and that's why it was limited.
So Monster Avery is saying the Orion is no longer in the industry pack. In the new version of the industry pack, the Orion's not there. Apparently.
Let's go have a look. That's interesting.
So you'd have to have a look. I haven't looked at the packs in donkeys. I've tried to.
So does that mean
curtail my
So does that mean that they're moving to more things that are? Well, that makes sense. All of a sudden, they're moving to things that are in game. Yeah, look, they moved it to a mole and a prospect, a reclaim, a rock.
Yep.
Yeah, so they want it. They're moving more to these things available in game right now. Yep. That's what that is.
And I think that's fair.
And they have the Apollo too. Into that.
I wouldn't have put the Apollo in the industry.
I would not call that industry. I get its gameplay, but wouldn't that be in a science pack maybe? But like it's
a science pack, a medical pack, a first responders pack. Yeah, I'm not sure it's industry.
Well, they wouldn't do that though, because then you can't include the Endeavor in the first because it's not in game. So this is clearly moving to a available in game now type of shit. Interesting.
Yeah. No, look, I
really just the choices in there, like because you and I wouldn't put an SRV in there, would put a Crucible.
Yeah.
But the advantage of that pack, by having some of the smaller ones, it does allow you to manipulate the pack to your benefit
and enables you to CC up to the bigger things later on.
But you'd agree with me, a Vulture and a Reclaimer in one pack. And what type of drugs were you taking when you decided to include the rock? I would like to know what you were smoking that day. That would be really good to know to avoid.
I think it's fluff to pad out the pack to push up the price.
Yeah, well, wasn't the old pack like almost $2.5 grand or something? And this is like 1.7?
I can't recall what the old pack was. I'd have to see if I've got one in buyback, but I don't think I did.
Yeah, so it's again, a Monster Avery saying the Convoy pack lost the BMM and the whole D. They're stripping the things that are not available right now.
Yeah.
They're trying to incentivize people to just pay now and you get everything. Right now, today. Impulse buy, $3,000. Paching! Like that's what they're going for.
Well, I think it ties in with that desire not to sell stuff that's not available.
Pete makes a great point. Pete said, no Atlas Geo, literally unplayable. I agree. I put the Atlas Geo in. I'll take that over a rock any day.
Yep.
And it's really weird. They don't treat the Atlas like it's a vehicle. Like they cut it from the ship showdown. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like what? So it's in the game, but we can't use it because it's not a vehicle and it's not a ship, according to them. So you can't be in the running to win showdown.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yes, Chief. God Broxed, making that $5 pledge from the Orion to the Carrack seemed like a good idea back in the day, but yeah, it was very quickly became a bad purchase.
$25.
I've got a whole pile of CCUs like that, and I've
had. It was $25. The Orion was $325 and the Carrack was $350. But yeah, I get the same.
And I did the CC had the CCUs. I think they're all melted because going from the Orion to the Carrack is just in the end a bad move. But yeah.
Yeah, so interesting. Makes me think of what they're really taking this. They're getting rid of concepts. That's essentially what that is. Concepts are gone. They're just gone.
I think that's really what it comes down to. They've been saying they don't want to release ships or sell ships that aren't in game or don't have a gameplay.
Well, does that mean AIE you can't buy a Crucible anymore because it's not out?
May do.
You know what I mean? Like, is it going to go that far? Well, we're just never going to sell them anymore. Yeah, you can only buy them now when they're straight to global. What?
Well, I can see the value in that. It stops people saying, "Where's my? I bought this ship last year. Where is it?"
Yeah, it does.
So it gets rid of that problem. It certainly echoes the idea that Sandy told us. The idea of selling Squadron 42, you're not getting anything for it.
Yeah,
and I think Sandy's. I don't want to put it as a quote, but it felt like she was saying it left a bad taste in her mouth. To do that just felt in bad taste and in bad form. And
I still come back to what you and I said. I think is the best way to go is let people build their own packs and just give them a discount. The more they essentially spend, the bigger the discount type of thing. Again, if you're only doing like 10 to 15%, but like once you get to a certain, if you add 5 things to your cart, they offer you some kind of discount and whatever. Because allowing people the flexibility to buy what they want often goes a lot better. And it's going back to what we're saying today about the bundling. It's just showing across the board, you're removing all that flexibility. And I know that happens when companies become bigger and uglier. But customer service has always been a really good thing. And Sandy's been at the hallmark of that. That'd be the feedback I'd be giving. Let people build their own packs. And don't bundle shit in general. Give both options, because then people can freedom and flexibility. Fair enough that you don't want to sell them ships that are not ready. That's fine. Just limit what they can add to the pack. Problem solved. Yeah, that's I will watch this with great interest, Algared. I just hope it doesn't come back to bite us.
I will certainly have to start paying attention to that. Sorry, just talked over you there. My apologies.
All good.
But yeah, it's something I will certainly have to start paying attention to as well, because I hadn't been doing it. It was just.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure the community will keep us abreast of that, as well. So yeah, it is interesting. I'm gonna have to stew on the connotations on that for a bit, because I'm trying to kind of see down the road, and I am. Also driving the show and thinking about the show we're going to talk about. But I'm trying to think, is it maybe in chat, does anyone else see any long-term problems with this? And that's what I'm trying to see. Other than price, because like anything new that comes in, they can add into packs, and it just instantly costs more to buy stuff. But again, that was always meant to be the way, wasn't it? They wanted to get rid of always become straight to fireball. I think the only thing me and Grim did talk about straight to fireball this week, and I think you'd agree, is tips that come out that we never see in concept that can have glaring mistakes. Obviously, they're going to go back and update things. But I think in a way, obviously, reading all the feedback is now more work than just fixing it later. That seems to be the logical conclusion to me. Yeah, I don't know. I need to steer on that for a little longer.
Now, last year was 29, according to them, 29.54, wasn't it? Is that right?
It was 2024, Algared. That's what last year was.
Yeah, but in terms of their I'm asking because
I don't use their funky numbers. They are a waste of time. It's like when they called things CCUs instead of upgrades. Just call it 2024.
Do me a favor. Have a look at when that pack was for last year. How
do I do that?
Goodies pack. The goodies pack.
Oh, the goodies pack. My Hangar. 2054. Yeah, you're 2954.
All right.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is that I cannot see Algared's 2954 upgrade.
Oh.
Whereas there's the Algared's 2953.
I wouldn't be able to show that because I don't have the glass pack. But yeah, if you have the Algared's pack, there's an upgrade thing. It's kind of like if you own a Kraken, you can see the conversion kit. If you own an Idris, you can see the Idris kits. It's one of those things. So Algared can see it, I can't. But yeah, fair enough.
But the last Algared's pack that I can see was 2953, which is the full pack, and strike 52,000. Man.
Remember when they were like 27,000? Seemed so much cheaper back then, didn't it? Oh, I just did. It's only a car. Now it's like 2 cars.
Now it's a house.
It's getting close. Actually, before the couple of booms, like back in 2010, you could get houses down here for 40,000. But yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
that's crazy.
US dollars. That's US dollars.
And that's US dollars too. So it'd be like, hang on, I'll do it. Let's just do it live. I'll go back, bring everyone with me. XE, this is just an exchange rate calculator. It's just to show you what we're talking about here. So let's do 40,000. I gotta go from Australian AUD to USD. And I wonder if US people use currency conversion like we have to all the time. I don't know.
I don't know. Probably not. I probably don't care.
Some of them haven't even seen the ocean, I've heard. So that is only $26,000. So that's the price of the house. So now if I do it the opposite way around, God man, it's gonna go up quite a bit. Australian dollars to I want USD to AUD. And what was it again? $52,000, did you say?
Yep, 52,600, I think, roughly.
$52,600. One too many, and that's almost 80 grand. That's too.
My apologies. The addendum is there.
What is?
It's just I had to look up the right channel for the addendum.
Oh, okay.
But holy crap, yeah.
Houses have really jumped here. I think the cheapest house you'd find now is about 250 K. So yeah, crazy. Making the arrows to swap. Thank you.
All right, so the upgrade.
Still, that's crazy to me. It's crazy how much inflation has hit in just the last 15 years. It's crazy. Like everything has pretty much gone up by 2.5. Do you know the current rate of inflation used to be like 1%, and it's now 2.5%?
Yep.
Ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. What has happened out there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Next question, Mr. Huston, please.
Yeah, I wish they'd not sell those packs with all the skins. That just jacks the price up so much.
First world problems, Algared. First world problems.
Yeah, indeed it is. Indeed it is. Stimpack Steve.
Yep.
Thank you for the bot test. Zolgul. Do you think the Paladin... Zolgul, do you think the Paladin will be released with an AI blade for turrets to help boost sales?
I kind of hope not.
Don't put ideas into CIG's head.
Yeah.
Because that will just jack the price up as well. We'll sell it in a bundle with a couple of blades, yes.
I would hope with what happened around Invictus, they got the message loud and clear that we are not fans. They probably made a bunch of cash. But there's the making of cash and there's pissing everyone off at the expense of that cash. What would you call it? Goodwill. You cannot get that goodwill back.
Once you burn your goodwill, you're done. It's a bit like reputation.
So show us the goodwill and you'll re-earn that goodwill pretty quickly. And let's be honest, they generally do get the message when we kick up a fuss as a group.
Yeah. Look, I just say you can't get your goodwill back. It's a bit of a...
It's hard. It's hard to get it back.
But it's significantly hard. It's like your reputation. You can have a good reputation. You stuff it up. You can get it. You can get your reputation back. But you're always going to have that little tarnish.
It's the old analogy of it's quicker to travel downhill than uphill.
Indeed.
It's just that simple. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's true. So yeah. Radium. Thoughts on the Idris med bed downgrade?
Makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense to me.
A tier 1 bed, the top tier bed, is supposed to be, or a tier 3 bed. Tier 3?
How do you...
We have a tier 3, the top tier bed anyway, is supposed to only be in hospitals.
Yeah, it gives that exclusivity to the medical field. It makes so much sense to me to allow them. That's their thing. That's just their thing.
And the only ship that should have that, I think the only ship that really should have that is would have been the Endeavour. So the fact that you get the Endeavour, the Apollo, and the
Galaxy.
The Galaxy can have that. That's huge.
I think it is valid, to be honest, in the Apollo because you are giving up a lot of beds to get.
You are giving up a lot of other beds to get that.
And again, the bed's kind of fixed in the Galaxy, and I'm really starting to see the Galaxy's place is the jack of all trades because it can put the Pisces rescue in there and the Ursa, so it can get to places where other things can't, type of thing. But also because that's a very modular ship, you are kind of overpaying. Like one of the things that came out through my discussions with Grim on his show yesterday is essentially the Galaxy and the Ironclad are the same size, right?
Yep.
Yet the cargo is almost a third of the Ironclad. And to put it interestingly, to put it in a way that you'll understand very clearly, it's exactly the same. And by the way, if you fill the hangar plus fill the cargo, it's exactly the same amount of cargo as the Caterpillar. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So you've got a ship the size of an Ironclad, but it's only holding as much as a Caterpillar. So think about all those running costs. So you're now starting to see the negativity to having that adaptability. You're paying so much more to run things and essentially getting a third of the benefit. So that whole thing with the niche or bespoke variant modularity, you can see it now. It's very clear. It's become very clear to me.
But there'll be certain areas where that modular galaxy will excel.
Yes.
Like, I think it's going to excel as a medical ship because it's got the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 beds.
But the drawback is, think about that. If you don't need one of those beds, and you don't need the Pisces, and you don't need the vehicle, the Apollo is way better. Because it's like we kind of said when we talked about the dropships that time. Like, they all had this perfect little niche. So
I'm not disputing that.
And I'm agreeing with you, but I'm also saying, you know what I'm saying. There is going to be a time where that you want that adaptability, and the Galaxy is going to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and the Galaxy will be perfect for that role, but there's going to be times when the Apollo absolutely nails it.
Yeah, so the others the others are more like tailored at a very specific job, where it's like, don't know what I'm walking into, bring the Galaxy.
And then you look at the Galaxy as a refinery station.
Yeah.
Yes, the refinery is not as good as your Astra, or not as many as your Astra, but it's got bigger refineries.
Exactly the same as the Astra, isn't it?
Were they?
I
thought the Astras were smaller, but had more.
I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure they're both too large in both of them. I can go double check.
They may have been changed.
Someone will let us know in chat real quick, but I'm pretty sure they're both the same. They're almost identical. And then,
go ahead.
And
then you look at the manufacturing. That'll be great, but again, it's going to be out. Basically, it's modular. It's not going to be as good as the thing that's dedicated to that role.
Well, I'll ask you the same question that someone asked me in Grim: is when do you think that thing's coming? Because I think it's way down the line now. I think everything that was the reason it was coming has all been stripped off it. Yeah, essentially.
Yep, I think that's probably true.
Algared, they're saying the one you're thinking about is the Expanse.
Oh, sorry, the Expanse. Okay, yeah. And that's true. That is the one I was thinking. The one with the small, the first one they brought out. Yep.
That's the one. And I believe the Starfarer has the same size has only got 3 of them, but it's the same size as the Expanse's reactor. So yeah, that's my memory anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see whether they stick to that being, whether reactors can do different, not reactors, the refineries can do different things, or whether they're going to tailor them to specific things. And I think they've hinted they're going to be tailored to specifics in the where they're talking about the bases at CitizenCon last year. And they said, we've only got the mineral ones, but we will have And so that indicates there might be different versions of refineries as well. So yeah.
All right.
Stimpack Steve. Question: foe execute? Yes, you are a foe. And Al. Obviously we're foes. I don't know. For us anyway. Have you noticed the concierge packets have changed? The game packages most have gone or are new. Yeah, we just looked at that.
I think someone beat you to it in that one.
Yep.
But yeah, we did have a look at that one. All right,
Franco, we did look at that.
So Franco Torren Blanca, that's an interesting name, says, what do you mean with the up in flames? Because it's about the medical changes. It could just be their great changes. I always try and just find, do you know how hard it is to find a title to call shit every week? It's annoying.
Yeah.
It is really annoying. If I could just leave it as Inforunners or a number, that'd be great. So I try and just find a quick reference to things and some of the episodes, like the one a couple of weeks ago, nobody got what that was about. None. Nobody even asked. And it was Medusa's. It was a photo of a futuristic Medusa. The Medusa guns on the Perseus. So the Medusa's coming because she's going to be on the Perseus. Lightest reference of all time, but it just had an awesome photo, so I used it.
People just wanted to grammar out you because you said, there.
Yeah, but there are 2 turrets. But they're 2 turrets, so it's there.
And instead of they are coming, it was they're coming because it was
plural.
The turrets are coming.
Yeah, the turrets are coming. But again, that's why I did it that way, because it hides it in there, what I was talking about. So yeah, but again, if you think it through, it makes more sense. But again, I just I don't know.
When
Algared, you sat there with me. Is it not the most annoying things to name things? It gets old real quick.
Look, even before a show, I said, do you mean they are coming, or do you mean
they are coming? Yeah,
they're coming, as in the things are coming.
And I'd explained it to him, and once I explained it, he got it.
Because I was just I could see either way.
Yeah.
But for those people picking up the grammar,
yeah,
that clarification is, what do you mean? Do you mean? And no, the grammar was correct as to what we were saying, as to what he was hinting at. The grammar was correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult, because just calling it Execute an Owl Talkstar Citizen every week would be boring as
well, I think these are under a playlist called Talking Ship, is what we put them under on the channel. So yeah, we could just call them Talking Ship every week and then put a number, but that'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it? So I just try to do little references. Maybe I should come more and more vague and just see if people can figure it out for themselves. Maybe offer something like a little prize every week. The first person figures out. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making shit up, but
maybe But we do call it, the broad topic of these is Talking Ship, because we like talking ship.
Yeah.
So you can take knowing that's what we call it. You can also think of what other thing you could replace ship with, and decide whether that's what we do or not.
All right, that's an insult. Says, question: with the Apollo not having drones, we're going to be waiting an awful long time for the Vulcan, right? I think you'll probably see the drones sooner than you think, and I say that because clearly drones are coming with base building, and I would assume medical drone is only really one step away from that. It's essentially an A to B. The last mystery really left for the Apollo that me and Algared have talked about is essentially how it gets you into the beds. And I did kind of bring it up in the first impressions. I think the beds might be some form of spawning closet. So essentially it takes you into the ship, closes the doors, despawns you, and then just kind of spawns you into the beds. But we'll have to kind of see how that folds out.
Yep.
But that's kind of where my brain goes, like with gamifying it. We'll have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. There's just no if buts and maybes on how that's exactly going to work. It's the last little mystery.
I think the Vulcan drones and that goes for Carrack drones and even the drones for the Reclaimer. They're slightly different because of the way.
Well, you drive them, don't you?
They're actually flown, so they're kind of like remote controlled ships, or remote controlled turrets, I suppose. Take your pick. But how they're going to do that is different. The A to B drones on base building and the A to B drones on the Apollo, they seem very similar. But CIG seem to be fairly clear in terms of the Apollo. At the moment, they ain't coming. They're not part of their thing in the gameplay. The requirements for that has changed a lot. So yes, the drone space is still there.
I need to add something. So I talked to Grim. They are literally labeled drone bay doors on the bottom. They are literally labeled left and right. So they are definitely there. I think it is pretty much they are coming. It's just that it wasn't ready to go in the game with the drone. So I think they are definitely coming in my book. It's just a matter of time.
I think whether they make them remote, that would be a thing. But certainly the A to B drone aspect of it is certainly not there. And I'm just taking John's comment that if the gameplay is there for it later, they'll revisit it. But the drone bays, the space is still there. But how they do and what they do is still up in the air. And I think that says they've changed what they wanted for the drone.
I think they're deliberately being vague so they can change their mind if they want to. But I like the fact that I don't know. Yeah, look, I'll leave it as it can go both ways. But I think it would be really crazy if it didn't get it. Based on, leave it there. I'm not going to argue.
Given that as Grim, the label.
I disagree with you, but we'll see how it lands. I'll leave it there.
Well, I think given that Grim found the thing that says drone bays, I think we're going to get drones. That the ship is meant to have drones. That's labeling still there. I would like to think that the drones then become remote drones that you actually fly to the point and does whatever. But yet to be seen.
Yeah. All right. What's the next one? WolfSense03 says, "Is the new Hyperion mission too long? My game sessions don't go that long in one sitting. I would have preferred to have them be a progressive set of missions to have to unlock." The annoyance with the Hyperion one is you have to go through the research area. But if you know the research area pretty well, I can pretty much get through there, and I only kill maybe 7 people. And I can get through there in probably less than 5 minutes. The annoyance is if you die in the science wing, you have to go back through the research wing to get back to the science wing. It is annoying as shit. But I have soloed it successfully a couple of times, but it's usually the snipers that catch you out if you're going solo, because you can literally be one shot to the head. And it happened to me twice yesterday. Literally from 100 to 0 in one shot. So there's nothing that can kind of prevent that. So yeah, use cover a lot would be my recommendation, but no, they're not too long. I would say I could probably, I haven't timed it, but I'd definitely say I could do both the research wing and the science wing in under half an hour. I've already got a bunch of the, I'm literally need, I think just the core for the Maya set. And if you know what I'm talking about, the Maya set is the one you need for Wicklow. So I literally just need the chest and I can go get the Wicklow set or go start working on the Wicklow set. So it's the first day and I've already done almost all the content. Like, I think that's totally reasonable. Like, that's too quick, if anything. So yeah, I don't know how to answer that. Agri, does that? I think that's reasonable.
That seems. Yeah, look, I kind of agree with WolfSense. That if you're time poor or you get pulled away.
Sorry, did you call him Wall Sense?
WolfSense.
Oh yes, I heard wall. I was like, what?
You know.
Ooh, this wall, bro, it's got so sensitive. The visuals are great. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Because if you're time poor or you're caring for people, that if you can't do them because they take time and it sucks, but that's life. I just to go back, I saw a question from someone or comment in chat. It was about the drones.
Yeah.
And they were saying, aren't there ships with drones in them? And yes, there are. There are ships with drone bays in them already. There's the Reclaimer has piloted drone area.
More specifically, the way they talked about the medical drone, they really brought into question if it's even going to exist. That's the issue.
Yeah, and that's the question there. But those other ships do have there are ships with the drone bays, so and piloted drones. So Carrick, Reclaimer are the two that come to mind that are in game with drone bays areas. So, yeah. Raymond McDonald Duff says, aren't there currently ships in game that have supposedly drone bays and drone operator stations? Yes, the Reclaimer and Carrick are the two that I can specifically think of.
Yeah, it's not that drones aren't coming. It's clearly coming from base building. It's just where the medical drones exist anymore. Essentially, that was kind of what was brought up. The SCL there, and that's what Algared's referring to.
Yeah, and my thought is, whether they've changed the way that the medical drones were going to be. If the medical drones were just going to be automated A to B drones, they may be gone. That idea may be dead and gone. And they're changing the idea that it's going to be more remote drones, where you actually fly them to the point and do whatever. But again, we'll have to wait and see.
Hopefully it kind of gets something in replacement. We'll have to wait and see. WolfSense. WolfSense says, oh no, this one already did. That's an insult. Do you think it's a coincidence that they have so many sets of medium armor available for sale? Heavy is rare. With the way heavy kind of can't be worn, I think heavy is more combat or extreme focus. Would you know what I mean? Like how you put on a heat suit or a cool suit. It is that extreme of whatever you're doing is. I think medium and light are meant to be the kind of you're going for speed with light, but not a lot of coverage. And medium is the baseline. I think you'd agree with that.
Yeah, medium is the sweet spot.
But the heavy, everyone would just wear heavy all the time. That's why they had to put a negative connotation on it, right? The negative connotation to the light is you are not as well protected. So you're obviously getting more protected when you go to heavy, but then what's the drawback? Well, you walk really slowly, you sweat like a pig, and you got to eat more, and you can't wear it when you fly. So they had to have drawbacks to it to make the other two look more tangible. And so medium is going to be what most people wear, just because of the damage factor.
I wouldn't be surprised if they want the suit lockers to actually eventually be able to store the armor. And so, yeah. But I think you're right. I think the medium is the sweet spot, and that's why we see more of it.
I think there'll be, and they had to be, like just how there had to be a lot of negatives to make the heavy armor make sense. I think there'll have to be a lot of positives to make the light armor make sense. Like, I'm trying to think of ones, and I'm going to be wrong, right? So anything that I give an example is going to be made up because we don't have these. But say, for example, it makes my signature smaller if I'm wearing like a sniper suit. So it's harder to find me because I'm just not physically wearing something as big. It's got like
I'm not giving off as much an electromagnetic signal.
Yeah. So something to that effect, right? You get where I'm going, right? So there has to be some positives to me being able to take more damage. Well, if I can't be seen, well, I'm therefore like less likely to take the damage. So it kind of works out. So yeah, little things like that. Yeah.
No, 100% agree with that. There'll be balance in terms of just like in ships, there'll be the balance with armor and equipment.
And I'm sure some people in chat could probably think of some better examples than I gave there, or we gave there, or whatever. Yeah, like we talked about, you can't get a stealth or cloak, but maybe you could have the hologram thing. But the hologram, like for some, you'd have to give some reason that the hologram can only be worn on the light suit. Like maybe it's so heavy that you can't wear it on the medium pack. Like it's physically too heavy that you can't carry it. So you've got to have a physically smaller suit to be physically able to carry it. And maybe it has another negative where it makes you move slower or something like that. I got no idea, right? You've got to balance these things out.
Tossing ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks. And that's generally, I imagine, game development. You get an idea, you throw it to the wall, you see how it fits and how it gels with everything else, and then you apply it and then go, yeah, it doesn't work. Or you go, yeah, it works, and go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, so see, Physical Pete often says to me, I don't have things to attribute or contribute. And then he says little bangers like that absolutely makes sense, that he's just said in Twitch. He's just said, remote operator drones will seem like they benefit from the command and control module rework for the Cat and Ironshad. Taking control of different vehicles by docking to it feels one step away from taking control of a ship by turning it into an MFD. And he's exactly correct. That is exactly the next step on drones. 100%. No, Pete, you need more confidence in yourself, mate. I keep telling you this, right? You actually do have a lot to contribute. You just don't think you do.
And that's why, Pete, I keep telling you to get in voice.
Yeah, come in voice, Pete. Now,
right? How many times do I tell you get in voice?
Or Uncle Algared,
you dog me every time.
Or Uncle Algared's going to have to punish you, and you don't want to know what that entails.
No girls for you.
Whoa! Oh dear, Pete's in trouble. Yeah, but it took me 15 minutes to think of it. No, yeah, but like everyone's got things to contribute, and I'm not just talking Tomcat creators. Like me and Algared can sit down with anyone, and generally, realistically speaking, they have an opinion to contribute that we just have not thought of. It's something that is, as we've done Inforunners, you have to go in. Even now, right, with like the knowledge bases that me and Algared have, we always go in with the ability to someone to change our mind. We'll hear you out. If you're wrong or we think you're wrong, we'll tell you you're wrong, but we will hear you out. And we've heard some pretty crazy things, right? Some, like, you think some of the stuff we say is crazy? Well, woo, there's some people that have mental health issues. We'll still hear them out. Sorry, someone's giving him a chat saying it only took 15 minutes because it took him 15 minutes to type it out with that keyboard. You know anything about Pete's keyboard? It's like $5 from Chicken Feed.
First time chatter on stream.
Yeah.
Cyber Pawsey.
Cerberus Pawsey.
Severus Pawsey says, I also feel backpacks are backwards. If I wear lighter armor, I should be able to carry more. If I already weigh a galactic ton from armor, I should not be able to carry half a planet's worth of stuff in my backpack.
That's actually a really good point, isn't it?
It is a good point.
But let's now picture it's the future, and they're somehow more like exosuits.
Yep.
And
about to say the same thing, but yeah.
So the heavier one has more energy going through it. You've probably got to put some kind of power cell in it. Like, none of this shit's in yet.
Yep. And we know that type of stuff is the type of stuff they're thinking of, because we know that they've talked about EMPs cancelling the ability of your suit to work.
Yep, absolutely.
I tend to think it is something similar to that, but also, yes, you should. It'd be nice if you could equip a larger backpack to your light armor, but then if you do that, you're going to pay the penalties for that extra weight.
So Stimpack Steve is heading off to bed. See you, mate. Thanks for the.
Thanks for hanging around, Steve. If we haven't got to any questions you've got, you'll have to watch the video. Take care.
He said 40 minutes to the giveaway. So I do have it open.
Thanks, Pete.
I have it open here somewhere. Let me. Yep. Oh, 96 people. So we've few more now. Hang on, I'll just check it over real quick.
Yep.
So yeah, 96.
So if you're not into that, if you haven't come to that link, and which X will put in again.
Yeah, I'll do
maybe.
that. Yes, yeah, I'll do it for you. There you go.
So if you haven't clicked on that link and joined that giveaway for this year's digital goodies pack, put in your click on it and join, and you might win.
It's just something small and sweet that we decided to do. Nice bit of fun. All right.
Yep. So anyway, Zogul says to make beds relevant.
Zagul. You've got you got to say like Dracula. Zagul.
Zagul.
Yeah, I'm here to drink your blood. Zagul.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Zagul.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a ghoul of Zor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like that. Yeah.
So to make beds relevant, what if each bed on a ship could set a respawn point for friends or org members, etc. Similar to a medbed, players could choose spawn points promoting group gameplay.
I'm going back to what I talked about a few weeks ago with you. I haven't actually talked about this publicly, but my thought was like, if beds were, because back in the day they talked about if you logged out in your bed, your ship would try to fly itself back to station.
No, it was
and look.
If you logged out without a bed, your ship would fly back to a station. If you logged out in a bed, your ship would disappear, and that's where when you came back, you'd respawn at that point.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking along these lines, right? If you log out in a bed, eventually it just logs. You log back in your hab, so it just gives you an option to log out, but it will essentially transport you back to where you came from. So it's that obviously you'd still have to have the 2 minutes to despawn or whatever. Or as long as there's no one around, you can despawn. But like it essentially just takes you back, so you don't have to fly back, because that would be a way to pick up speed. So if I've only got half an hour, well, I can spend the whole half an hour going and doing what I'm doing, and then just log out, because then you don't have to fly back. It'll pick up speed for people. It'd make the game quicker. And realistically, what are you losing there? You're not really losing much other than the fact that you could be attacked. But again, if you also carried that into the simulation, then maybe you do get attacked and you come back and you're dead. But it would just be, I think that'd be a benefit to have a bed. It's like, well, I don't have time to fly back, so I'll just log out here and let the system.
Yeah, I prefer the older system where if you logged out in the bed, the ship would despawn, and then when you came back, you'd be where you were, because then you could do the longer deep space missions.
But that's changed now. So how do you give the benefit to the bed? And that was the best idea I could come up with.
Well, the idea that idea didn't change on the beds. It was the fact that people without beds couldn't despawn or couldn't log out.
Well, see that. So now
that's changing, so
with my idea, they would have to fly back.
Well, the old system was if you didn't have a bed, you logged out, and the ship would basically fly you back.
I know the old system, but I'm saying now, look at it this way though. If you have a bed, it logs you out, right? And it'll fly you back on its own. But if you don't have the bed,
what happens?
You have to fly yourself back. You've got no option to log out because you don't have a bed. But if you log out there, oh yeah, you're right actually, because they have actually said you can log out where you are. Ooh. No, but then when you log back in, you'll be at the station if you have a bed. If you don't have a bed, you come back where you logged out.
Yeah, but if you're trying to do deep space exploration, and every time you log out because you've got a bed, you
could have a choice. You could just choose. No, I don't want to go back to the thing. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know they're changing the way beds work and the log out of beds. But beds used to be, that's how you logged out in game. You could log out wherever your bed was. Now anyone can log out where they are, and that's
You want to do that first time chatter one?
Yep. So first time chat, Barry Blue Jeans in Twitch says, if a number of days until the next ship sale equals X, does X equal the number of days until Sitcon announces Apollo drones abandoned in lieu of tractor beam, and they'll revisit it later?
It was CIG, not CitizenCon, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, CIG.
Yeah. I think they deliberately just left it vague so they can change their mind if they want to. I think that's what John was trying to imply. Like, there's a bit of stuff up in the air with medical gameplay, and they haven't made the final decision of whether it falls one way or the other. And that's clear enough that they included the drone bay on the ship. Because let's be honest, if they don't want the drone bay, they just seal it off and.
Yeah, and the fact that John Crew did say the bay is still there, the space is still there in case we revisit it later on. So that clearly says that they'd liked something. There's something they want to put there. There's something they, drone or other thing they want. But at the moment, they don't have it.
Tell me this, Algared. I even think that the terminals on the inside, very simply, and it's a tier 0 implementation. Those two terminals, if I walk up to the left one and press the button, the drone goes and grabs someone and deposits it in the first free bed on the left. If I go to the right, it grabs the drone and deposits them on the
Yep.
When I saw that, I just went, that's what
and
it is.
We saw that, and we thought that looked like a drone terminal.
Yep. Because again, it's an A to B drone. It just goes, so it just scans, finds a body, and goes and grabs it. That's simple. And again, when engineering kind of comes along, you could do scanning, so to speak, and pick the body that you want on a map or something like that. You could see that person is injured, and you could even probably in the code go, you know how it says triage. Maybe on the terminal, it literally show like it triages. So it literally the drone does the triage. So it picks up the worst for you. You could probably do filters or something like that all through that terminal on an MFD, and then but most of the time it's just click and go. And
I wouldn't be surprised if going down the track that if you're using the top tier bed, then the options would be more as to which type of patient it picks up. Like if you're in the last tier bed, it's not going to pick up someone who that bed can't heal.
Or it overheals them, so to speak, as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But that's.
Well, yeah. Does this person need a tier 1 bed, or do they only need a tier 2? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if I've only got tier 2 beds, and it needs a tier a tier 1 bed or a tier 3 bed, what's the point? If a bed can't cope with that person's injuries, what's the point of saving him for someone else?
Or is that person got enough time to wait that I can finish with someone else on the tier 2 and just queue them up? Or are they going to run out of time? So stuff it, we just give them the tier 1 because they're going to die otherwise. So yeah, little things like that. They're all little things that are going to come along to make problems for medical.
And I think that's the type of thing that will make medical gameplay different.
You're kind of juggling plates in a way, aren't you? A little bit, yeah.
So,
well, it's like logistics. You're going to put all the boxes in the right way to play that Tetris game. It's just that you're doing it with medical. You're shifting, and especially in a bigger ship like the Hope, the Endeavour Hope, that'll be a lot of juggling plates, I'm sure. The
Endeavour Hope is going to be a lot of fun. I think. I hope.
See what you did the. You hope. Oh my god, I'm not going to repeat it. It was that bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That pun was not intended. Yes.
Yeah.
Wolf Sense.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll take that one.
What is the Paladin competing against?
Other gunships.
Or is it just new and niche?
It's other gunships. So it's kind of what the Redeemer used to be. The Redeemer became very slow and sluggish to kind of fit into that meta because it didn't have a lot of its other gameplay perks, so like high shields and stuff like that. So it's kind of going back to where it was or where it should be in its concept. And this is coming in. So this is a real attacky gunship, right? You get kind of a generalist gunship like the Connie, which also does a lot of cargo. The Corsair and Connie are kind of similar like that. This is just like no cargo. It's just all guns, all channels. You know, it's got a floor that retracts back, so all 4 crew members can communicate. I think this is going to be a really interesting ship, the way this thing works, right? You're going to get the 2 side gunners and the main gunner talking to each other, telling him he needs to drop to the bottom, go to the top. They're coming from the left to the right, so get ready on the right-hand side, incoming on your left type of thing, and then communicating with the pilot on where they need to move the ship. Because again, if it's like a tank and it's a bit slow and sluggish, you're going to need that all 4 people working together to. And again, if the way it appears to be Algared, you'd say it looks very front armored, so therefore you're probably more vulnerable on the back. So it's trying to keep your back away from the enemy. And it looks a very team orientated attack. I think it's been very interesting. I've got one. I completed a CCU chainer one, as I have to the Perseus. So I'm looking. They're the 2 ships I'm looking forward to most this year. Yeah, I think they're going to have a lot of gameplay thrown around. And Algared, I think you'd agree based on the time you and I had in the Hurricane. I would say that's the next step up when you like from the. That you and I really enjoyed?
Any ship that's got that real gameplay, the group gameplay, where you've really got to work together, is great. It's a lot of fun. The downside is, I wouldn't take a Hurricane solo.
No,
because
that's the downside.
It's got a downside.
But you and I got a lot more. Like me and Algared went out in the Scorpius and the Hurricane over recent years, and there's just something about how it kind of forces you to work together because I have less guns than, say, Algared does in the turret. So there's this psychological thing where when we go out and we both have the same guns in the Scorpius, no matter who was flying, you tend to just prioritize yourself over the person.
Just went, I'm just going to stay at the front.
I'm just being dragged around, you know.
When it's the... But you're right. When it was the Hurricane, didn't matter. And again, didn't matter who was flying. The pilot was more or less looking at... Or, trying to assist the gunner rather than and you take that back to the Paladin. You're essentially taking both the Redeemer turrets when it was size 5, they're now size 4s, and merging them into one turret. So you can imagine, like, that's the really big turret on the Reclaimer times 2 in one. Like the sheer amount of firepower coming out of this thing is going to be crazy. And I'm really looking to see, like, it's going to stuff some things up. So you're going to be working, communicating, really trying to get everything onto that big turret. And I'm really interested to see how it goes. And it's got to have some kind of weakness in the back, because otherwise that ship is just death. It's just gonna like I'm trying to think like of like the weakness is going to be like 2 fighters. One taking the shit in the front, like trying not to die, and the other in the back trying to pin him in the butt. Like, that's the only thing I can think of that's effectively like numbers. But if it's 1-on-1, you're going to be in real trouble. Like, look forward to that. Yeah. Wonder if we could have like a Perseus versus 2 Paladins. We'll see. Could be. Project Gnome. We've more or less answered this question, so we'll go for it fairly quickly. But why do you think they're changing up the concierge ship packs? We have lost the company, the entrepreneur, the tycoon pack, but have the industrial packs now. And I think, as we said earlier, it's basically getting rid of it. Looks like it's getting rid of ships that aren't in games, so the concept ships. And that's basically the reason why we think it is not selling stuff that's not available.
Luna Maria says I think that's not meant for us because she's adding someone else. Pissball Pete. And we did that one. DJ Icosis, I think that's what he's trying to say his name is. Should tier 1 beds be in just medical ships or all big capital ships as well, such as the Idris? Yeah, we kind of answered this earlier too, didn't we, Algared? So you need something special for medical. You really do. And I think them having the tier 1s makes a lot of sense to me. Because otherwise, why you don't want every ship to do everything, right? No matter how big it is, right? So you've got to have other reasons for things to exist, and I think that realistically, when you tell me, Algared, when I go out, I don't often get tier 1's injuries. Like they kind of compound. You kind of go from a couple of no injuries to a tier 1, a tier 1 to a tier 2. And if I'm getting a tier 2 injury, like when I'm doing ASD or Onyx, I tend to time to go. I either am walking slowly now, or I can't shoot or aim properly, or worse said, I got a hand injury and shit spinning. It's time to get out, and I really try to get out before I get to tier 3, because tier 1, because tier 1's really, really bad. Like that, you are in a bad way, and you are generally not going to make it out once you get to tier 1. And if I'm alone and I'm tier 1, I'm pretty much cactus. They're pretty up there. So, and again, the cost to fix those and stuff like that. I think once the cost comes in, I think it is going to change the game a lot. Initially, it's going to hit, and I think a lot of people are going to be a little bit more upset with the cost. But I haven't really respawned much for cost. You really need to respawn in like an Apollo for it to cost a lot. But we'll see how that goes. Or into a bed, like a player-owned bed, for it to cost a lot. So, yeah. But yeah.
Yep. Pistol Pete. Oh, you're just saying you can add a trigger mark, right?
Yep. That's why I skipped it. George Smith is the next one, bro. If you want to read that one. A sneak peek. I'll have a quick look and see if I've received it, because being down under it just takes longer to get here. Apparently, emails don't really count. They just seem to
and we've answered that beds one as well.
Yeah.
So we're up to George Smith.
Yep. Go to the next one. Just what I said.
Okay, and then while we're pulling up the sneak peek, Trevor Finger says, "Don't know if you addressed it already, but how do you feel about the Idris med beds nerf? And what about the range of tier 2 beds on the carriers?"
It's like the 4th time we've talked about this. So
yeah. So we have talked about it.
Yep.
All the beds do have a range for picking up people. The tier 2's in the middle. It makes sense for the Idris to only have tier 2, mainly because the tier 1s then become reserved for the dedicated medical ships.
Yeah.
Next time it comes up, you get to say that.
Yeah. Well, I'd said it 3 times already, so I'll please. Can someone send me the sneak peek, please? I've not got any emails at all, so I'm assuming that I haven't been sent it. If I ding, I'll leave it open. But if I ding, that's me, not you. Just be aware. But yeah, I don't have the sneak peek to look at, and I don't.
Yep. Well, I'll leave George's question unticked at the moment, so we can come back to it. Ankasuni says, "Have there been a lot of questions raised about the benefit of respawning across the solar system in an Apollo, since it doesn't carry any ship for you to go somewhere after? Any thoughts?"
Fully armored, very tough. I found it, but what was it? Sorry, I missed the question.
Just so short question version is.
Been a lot of questions
you looked
raised.
Like you were looking at a fly going by.
Yeah. Thanks, Algared. There's
no worries.
A lot of questions about the benefits of respawning across the solar system in the Apollo, since it doesn't carry any ships for you to go anywhere afterwards. Any thoughts? Yeah, it's probably why it doesn't need a vehicle. Think about it. If you can just respawn into a tier 1 bed across the solar system, do you need an Ursa? No, not really.
But the question that they're asking is, when you respawn, I've got my ship, you've died, I respawn you in my ship, you've got nowhere to go. Unlike if you respawn in the Endeavour, where you can call up a ship and disappear. I think that's what the idea he's picking up.
Yeah, it's called money, bro. give me all your money, bitch, or you can just stay here forever. Yeah, pirate medical. That's how do you reckon old man Hurston got so rich? That was the ploy. He knows, guys. He's out to get you.
Would part of the agreement, I suppose, with your Apollo would be you'd be taken to a space station.
Yeah, or something like that. But and again, you have the choice where you respawn, and it will tell you the distance. Yep. So you're actively choosing to spawn at that Apollo.
Yep. And I think the other thing is, most people using an Apollo will be using it with their party or their org or whatever, and the Apollo will be close.
Yep. Is
what I'd assume.
All right. So I need to go back again. Fully armored and very tough. This was on Reddit. I just went and found it. So fully armored and very tough. My brain tells me that's the Hurston Dynamics black armor. What does it tell you?
Well, I was thinking that is suit armor, and
it is in game right. It's in game right now.
And given the Hurston one, yep, sounds right.
It looks like that armor, doesn't it? It's not me. It is the Hurston one. Chat, correct me, please, if I'm being wrong.
Look, whether you're right or wrong, my first impression was that looks like suit armor.
Yeah. No, it's which suit of armor is it? So I think it's the same Grey Cat armor, just the Hurston's version.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the side of the utility one. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, and it's got just a slight yellow line in it, which I know in the picture. I can't remember where I saw the picture now, but there was a picture where they essentially. I got a lot of emails actually. All right, I'm gonna close that. Look at that later. Yeah, there was a that updated it and like made the glass yellow and stuff like that. So it had little hints to Hurston.
Yeah.
They've said that we'll also be getting. Actually, it's probably on their site where they talked about it. I know it was.
I know it was there at one point.
I think it was this. Is it in this patch? Maybe not. I remember seeing it the other day, and I just can't remember where it is now.
If you went back to the original thing for Race of Stanton, you'd
no. What I'm trying to talk about is there's an RSI Apollo Q&A. That's new. But there was a post that literally specifically talked about Hurston winning it. Oh, it was on Spectrum. That's where it was. Let's go into the Brown Sea. And check out Spectrum.
The cesspit.
The cesspit. I don't go in here very often. Because of that. There's no way to filter out things.
Yep.
Hurston Dynamics Trumps. Here we go. This is it. So there was a photo of it, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here you go. So you can see it's not the same as it was. They added some little yellow in and stuff, like just some little highlights. You know, it's got a yellow tinge in certain places. So I would pretty much say that is on par. The shoulders look a little different though. See, so I have to go back to the other one. See how it's got the lights on the side? It doesn't have.
Yep. Maybe stupid angle. Oh, sorry.
Zoom enhance. Oh no, it's got a seam. Yeah, okay.
Could be
the same. Could be something else.
And hello, Batgirl. Welcome to the chat.
Hey, Batgirl. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. I don't know what else it could be. Could be another variant. Wait and see.
That's an insult.
Yep.
Are there any benefits of getting additional game packages? Is it speculation that they'll give you extra character slots?
I'm gonna say, isn't it obvious? Like, if you buy more ships, the advantage is you have more ships.
Well, but that's not ships, that's character slots.
Yeah, he asked character slots specifically, but he said, is there any advantage to buying more ships? Yeah, you have more ships.
Definitely having the character slots. They did talk about that being personalized NPCs. You'd still have to pay them, whatever it was, but you'd certainly have that. I I know Chris has looked at games such as Guild Wars and stuff, and Guild Wars had a nice way. They'd have your NPCs, but you could actually pick which NPC was the one you were playing with, which was quite nice. So that's an option. But yeah, it's a bit of speculation, but they'll do something.
Yeah. Yeah. That was back when you bought multiple packs with character slots. So the way he's worded, he says additional game packages. So yeah, the game packages to extra cover slot. That was the intention back in the day.
Yeah, and so we don't exactly know how it's going to work out, but certainly NPCs, character slots, and will.
Oh, that's a good. Sorry, Algared, I know I'm interrupting. Finish what you're saying, then I'll go there.
Yep. So yes, character slots. We don't exactly know what they're going to do, but if there's an advantage of character slots and having the packages, I'm almost certain they will sell individual character slots, just like every other game that I've played where they do that. So yeah.
Going back to the sneak peek, someone pointed out something. Just see between the little red lines there, Algared. Do you notice the little white triangle?
Not really, but yep. Right, you'd have to zoom it in.
Right here?
Yes, yep.
ASD logo. So it's an ASD suit of armor. I reckon it's an ASD version of the Iron Man looking suit. So,
yep.
Bear with me. I'll bring up an image. I've got to go back to. So something akin to this, but from ASD.
Yep.
I think that's what that sneak peek is. See how it's got the bump out in the chest?
Yep.
I'll zoom in and enhance on the arm. That would probably confirm it. Arm's not the same.
No, but I think it's a variant of it. It's something similar to that.
Not the same. There's
not
no wire that runs up the side. This wire here, so it's got to be something new.
It's a new suit.
It's a new suit.
You do notice the goodies pack does have 2 new suits. Doesn't say what they are. Just 2 armor sets.
True. Maybe maybe it's one for that. Yeah. Who knows?
Yep. As Parker just said, maybe from the sitcom pack. Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah. Get my single like.
Yep. Indeed. Fools never differ.
Yeah. Okay. That's gonna be a little bit of mystery for a while, but not a big one. But it's a suit. No. Like I'm not gonna get excited about suits.
Well, you know me. I'm not a suits guy. I'm not a skins guy. I'm
He's an UEC guy.
Assault Titan suit.
Yeah,
Artemis is saying.
Yeah.
Look, enough rope to hang ourselves. Here, take 2 meters.
Yeah, that's it. It's
Arsus. Yep. Thoughts on the ASD missions? I struggle to get them done because one part doesn't trigger and makes the entire mission bricked.
Yeah, they do bug out a bit. But we are playing them when they're kind of fresh and new. I'd give an example of look at Wormhole. The Wormhole 12 months ago was a mess. You go use the Wormhole today, it's awesome.
Look.
So just give them time to refine.
Yeah, and picking up the wormholes, I've flown through it half a dozen times, but at best.
Yeah.
And the first time I went through it wasn't as smooth as the last time. It was. Yeah. So things will change. 100%. But yeah, the struggle with missions is difficult. But what you're picking up is pretty much why you called this Up in Flames.
Yeah.
Because people were having those troubles.
Okay, so
10 minutes.
Yeah, we've only got about 10 minutes left. 10 minutes and 10 seconds in the giveaway. I'll copy and paste that to chat again for anyone that's just turned up.
Yep.
So if you want to get a chance to win a Citizen Con goodies pack,
which could possibly include the armor set that's in the sneak peek.
We got no bloody idea.
It's speculation, but
yeah. I can probably pull that up real quick. We can have a look at what comes in it just as a really quick refresher because we've only got 10 minutes. So for those that haven't looked at it, which I'm sure is nobody, but you know, $35. Actually, you got to go into here, don't you, to look at it?
Yep.
I think so from memory. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, you get 2 armor sets,
2 armor sets,
undersuit, flight suit, new jacket, 3 weapons, coin and a trophy, and some of these older ones sell for quite a bit now. And decor,
yep.
I think that just means furniture, and this is actually quite telling. Because no, it's decor. It doesn't say boxes, it says decor. Because again, base building and fabrication and all that, I think that kind of shows you a lot of bit that's coming at CitizenCon.
Yep.
And it's the stuff that's on the roadmap, the base building and fabrication.
Yep. Things like posters, decorations, you know.
Well, last year
I said boxes because the guy's standing in front of boxes, but
last year we got a couch.
Yep.
So it could be coffee machine, it could be everything you mentioned, it could be something completely new. It could be a shag pile rug of Chris Roberts like a polar bear. That'd be amazing. I want that. Like that'd be funny. Like if Chris could ever laugh at himself, I would so make that. And then just a citizen card. What is it, 29.45 or whatever, and it's just like Chris is a stuffed animal on the floor. That'd be funny. Or Disco Lando. Disco Lando would do it. He'd do that. But that'd be funny. Just for shits and giggles. But yeah.
Yep.
All right.
But that doesn't look too bad as a pack. Price is a bit pricey. It's a bit pricey, but it's a nice looking pack.
It's on par with patch bundles and shit like that. And generally, realistically, I think you get some stuff that turns out to be a bit rarer. Like I've brought every single one of them. And the price has definitely shot up though. Like the first one was, I think they had ones that were free, and then they had it was $10, and then $20, $25, $30, $35. So they've the amount has increased too.
And like originally, come on, the very first ones I can remember getting were basically a weapon and a trophy. You know, or a knife and a trophy, and you tended to get it just for the trophy. For a cabinet. You know, so yeah.
I'm just looking to see.
Thank you guys for the comments on my attire.
What, you hit us the ugly? Oh, okay. Well, that's not very nice of them. Why would they say that being ugly?
The tie, you know.
I never get any comments on my hobo look. Why is that, Algared? That's just not fair.
Because you're a hobo.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, make me feel good and warm and fuzzy. Right.
Yeah.
He does his best. Right. Cosmic Turtle says, Execute, how did you get your web hanger to look like that? Mine doesn't have that sorting. Oh, yeah. All right. So I have there's a what do you call it? I got to go back to my
mod gadget thing, a mod thing.
Yeah.
The lovely thing.
Where the hell is my hanger? There it is. Yeah. No, it's called Hangar Explore. So if I bring you guys back over, I will kind of show you. So if you go into extensions here for Firefox, it is this one here called Star Citizen Hangar Explorer. Just make sure that you guys can see that. Yeah, that's it there. It's available on Chrome and Firefox, and it is a blessing.
It is a blessing.
You can search for tags, a whole bunch of different things. Discord link.
Plug in. Thank you, Truther. That's what I was trying to think of.
There you go. First time chatter. Just type in exclamation Discord if you want the Discord. I believe that works on YouTube as well because there's a bot doing it on YouTube. But yeah, that's the extension. It is there are sometimes you have to turn it off because it causes some issues. Like 9 times out of 10, when you're dealing with pages and pages and pages of shit, it just makes it way easier to deal with shit.
And you've probably got about 5 minutes left or 3 minutes left to get into that giveaway that will be drawn automatically. Yeah,
5 minutes and 23 seconds. I'm pretty sure it automatically runs itself, so I can just leave it sitting there and it'll. So yeah. You don't have to be on the Discord to join it. I will. Not that one. I want to copy the link again. Copy.
Post the link in just in case people were
missed the last one. It has gone off the page, so yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, 120 entries, so you got a good chance of winning that. Right. Next one, Algared. I'll leave this up just while we do the questions because it's got 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, and that way we won't forget. Rimonen McDonald says, what if you upgrade in-game through crafting and blueprints a pledge ship? Will that ship still hold its pledged for utility in terms of LTI, etc.?
Yes.
Yep. My understanding is it's stuck to the chassis. So.
Yep. That's exactly how it works. I was just lost on his name. I am Leon Mekachad. Like he says that, and people just like melt in fear. Like it's like I am. What's that from that movie? I am Leon Matea. I'm here to kill you.
Hello.
Yeah.
I am Inigo Montoya.
Yeah.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yeah. That's the one. It just sounds like that guy. Yeah. So whatever the base ship you have, it retains that feature. Whatever is greater. So if you essentially, there were upgrades like back in the day that actually gave you LTI, and essentially whatever was the greatest insurance is what carried over.
Yeah. Indeed.
Being cut. It's going to sit on the keyboard. Stop.
Pirate News Network.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. That's just saying, good question. You asked about the Atlas. Yep. NATO Pritz. Elysium medium armor. Set, but with light armor backpack. On purpose or error? Way too little storage.
I don't think there's a proper backpack for that set. It was just because if you really look at it, it's essentially the concierge set, and a lot of people complained when it dropped that there was no backpack for it. So that is in the way. Hang on, bear with me. Actually, no, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the screen. Get out of the way. So what was it saying? Animex backpack. So the Animex Elysium backpack. So I think that's just the backpack that they've chosen that goes with it, and they're essentially retexturing another backpack. Or because that's actually ironically the backpack that I do use with it, but there's none tailored for it. So yeah, it is and it's not a medium set. I'm pretty sure it is a light set, not a medium.
Yeah,
I remember that the one with the hood being a light set, not a medium. Maybe I'm remembering
my memory,
wrong.
but
yeah,
my memory as well, but I could be wrong. So.
Okay, I've got a first-time chatter there. Question. Commander Hayes says, question, if you read the panels around the med bays in the Apollo, they give a health score. Looks like a placeholder, but what do you guys think about IVS imprint viability score being added to the med? IVS, I have to Google what that is. IVS
That's
could
the
make...
imprint...
Vitality score?
Vitality score. So basically how good
viability score. Imprint and viability score. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Being added to medical gameplay could make med beds more or less valuable, like respawning in tier 1. Could, it makes sense to me. Again, I think there's a lot of medical gameplay coming that we have only kind of looked at. I think that's what they were hinting at. There was a lot more complexity that we haven't seen.
Even I think it was in the monthly report, or one of the things they talked about. Oh no, it was the jump point. The jump point we were talking about medical beds. They talked about the higher tech having less of an impact on the viability score of your imprint, and so a tier 3 bed, because it's higher tech and better quality, would have less of an impact on your tier 1 bed than your tier 1 bed. So 1
minute to go. Less than a minute.
Yep.
And we're going to see the winners. All right, we've got enough time for a quick one. Let's have a quick look. Learnerships need a rework. Look, that they are always updating. So this question comes from Parker. He says, learnerships need a rework. Look, Endeavour stuck with Cuddy Red, Starfarer, Crucible, and I'm really surprised they haven't upgraded that to the Apollo. To be honest with you, I think they redo them usually before Invictus and AIE. So I think they'll probably update that coming around.
It's a matter of priority.
Yeah. All right. 20 seconds. I got a cat sitting on my... What is wrong with you today? Got his foot in his ear. Anyway.
No, Rayson doing the looks like just the cats and puppies or something. For a second there, I thought it was the two old guys from the Muppets. You know
Yeah, you look like one of those, but I don't look like one of those.
Yep.
All right, time is up. Yeah, this giveaway. No, I want to... No winners yet. What do you mean no winners yet?
No winners yet. Do we have to draw it?
I think I might have to draw it. I think I got to log in and draw it. And I know Lemming's not here either. Wait.
But no more people can join in.
He's gonna let me log in.
Please.
Shit. Where do I go? This one. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, this is it because
okay. While you're doing that,
hang on. Let me do it live. Where did what is he done? I don't know what I'm doing.
Try and do it without groaning because it hurts my ears.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to do it?
Okay.
With a lovely tune, was that be better for you? No, it would not. That kills everyone's ears. I honestly, because Lemming does this shit. Shit. All right, I'm gonna go back to the server. All right. Go to giveaways. Yeah, and this is where I need Lemming, but he's not here. Giveaway. Oh, it actually says congratulations. To someone. View giveaway. If I open it again, is it going to tell me who the winner is? There you go. Brettley67. Brettley67. Reach out. I'll just at Brett.
Brettley67.
I can't type that. Don't let me.
So we needed to. That's okay. People are sharpening it in chat. Certainly on Discord, on Twitch. Sorry. So Brettley67 is our winner. So well done.
And yeah, you need to reach out to me via Discord.
Brettley is on stream, so Brettley just
just reach out to me on Discord, man, and
that will get sent to you.
Yeah, and we can get that sent off to you. There we go, bang. Done. Oh no, not this bug again. I got this really bad bug that I can't fix now.
Okay.
No. Like I've literally got to close Discord to fix it.
Yeah. But Brettley is in Twitch, so.
Yep. Algared, I'm gonna have to cut you off because I do need to restart Discord, so I will be back and I'll restart the stream. Sorry, that's the only way I can fix this bug, and I can't stream with it on. I'll be right back. You'll see Algared, but you won't be able to hear him for a second. Just 2 secs. Should have got him to dance before we left. Reconnect. All right, Algared, can you hear me?
Yep.
Right, so we're back. Right, sorry about that. It's just
share the screen again.
Yeah. It's just this weird bug where it bugs out and it won't let me de-maximize Discord, and it literally takes over my entire second screen. So I can't look at any browsers. I can't do anything.
Yep.
It's just really, really, really annoying. And then there's this bug sharing the screen that takes like 30 seconds. It's been on Discord for the last week. So it's shared. I'm just waiting for it to come
I know
through.
that bug. It's annoying.
So I'm trying, bro. I'm trying.
Yep.
All right, I think it went through. There you go. Yeah, good. Right, cool, sweet. Right, yeah, congrats to Brett. Just reach out, man, and I'll get that off to you at the end of the stream, which is...
So just send X a personal message.
Yep.
And he will get that to you. All right, so next question was Oz Veteran. Do you think there will be an Anvil medical vehicle in October ship sales?
Yeah, I think that's we kind of did talk about this, didn't we, Algared? The only one we can kind of really see missing in the lineup is an armored vehicle. Medical.
Yeah. I know that's something that SA as a military type guy would love to see. Because as he said, the Earth is great, but it's not really that armored vehicle.
Yeah.
So Raimonen. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and say your last name because I can't.
Reimoinen McDonald Chad.
McDonald Chad.
Let's just call him Ramon.
Donald.
Ramon McDonald. That's his name. Ramon McDonald. That's what we're going with. Ramon McDonald. Yeah, he's trying to cheer us up. I know what he's doing. Yeah.
Are we still owed a Drake ship?
I don't think we're owed anything. Personally, we're lucky we get what we're given. You know?
Yeah. I think he's referring to the Flappy Bird. Is the Flappy Bird Drake? Possibly. Is it not Drake? Possibly. Is it something else? Possibly. Is it a mining ship? Possibly.
Look, those silhouettes were not as good as the previous year's silhouettes because there just wasn't as much detail. They were essentially, they really were silhouettes. They weren't like previous years, you could make out little shadows and stuff, so there were more details. But this time they were black as black, and you just
they learn.
But it was more annoying because you just couldn't pull out details, so the speculation just didn't go as far. I'm gonna be honest. I know we've talked about them a lot, but I think we got a lot more details in previous years. Maybe a little bit of detail would be nice. Just a little bit of detail would be nice. But we'll see. Like, again, there's other evidences we can use now. Like we now know whatever they're generally working on gameplay wise, ships usually follow in suit. One ship, like a bigger ship, has those. That's essentially how I came around to. I was suspecting the Flappy Bird does the planetary extraction or underground mining, because we know the Pioneer is going to do it. So it's like, well, this is doing 10 different things at once. They tend to pull those off and put it on separate things.
And then if you go back to the original Prospector, it could also do the underground mining, but that kind of got cut off. Yeah, before it got cut off. So it was always a plan for that underground mining to be there. So
yeah, a lot of people forget that a lot, don't they?
Yep. Scrub with the cuts in salvage prices as well as seemingly lower amount of profitable ones. Do you believe we're getting crafting soon? As I see it, that is where the resource value lies.
Yeah, it's probably a part of a rebalancing factor. Things are always changing. Doesn't have to look into things like that, but don't ever take anything in stone. Someone could have tripped on a cable at CIG and face planted into a keyboard and changed some numbers. Like, who knows? But realistically, it's more likely something changed in the back. Yeah, it's realistically someone's changing something in the background. But and base building being there, yeah, I'd say it's more than likely. But again, never say never type of thing. But yeah.
Now, before human resources get on and start complaining, you've been to the office. You know there are no loose cables lying around that people are going to trip on.
All right, so Ray's telling us how to tell his name. So he said, just call me Ray. I'm not trying with my name. Just call me Ray. And it's McDonald, and the da at the end is silent. So it actually, so it's just Doncha? Doncha?
McDoncha.
So it's Ray Doncha. Ray Doncha. Is that correct? Ray Doncha. Okay, I can probably do that. I can un-Aussiefy.
Marandoncha.
I'm just gonna call him Ray.
Ray.
Well, look, we're Aussie. We do everything short as shit. Ray. Done.
Ray. Ray Don. Ray McDon.
Yeah.
Let's call him the Dom. The Dom.
The Don. Donny. That's Donny. It's Donny.
If you get the Dom, that's high praise.
Yeah. This is how we come up with nicknames, by the way. Like, this is often how it works. Like, it's something slightly off the cuff and then exaggerated after that. So that's how you get to Donny. But yeah, something like that.
I still like the weird thing for Australian rhyming slang for Americans.
Yeah,
which is Seppo.
Yeah.
Because Yanks are tanks.
Yeah, septic tank. Yeah,
and those go septic tank.
Yeah. All right,
and then we shorten that to Seppo because we're lazy.
Yeah. Right, PC Gamer Radio says, if CitizenCon is max 2 hours, do you think we'll maybe getting some new vids before, or videos that didn't make the cut similar to the last year's CitizenCon? Did talk about this on Grimm's show. Essentially, if you look at last year's CitizenCon, all the videos that Jared did for the next 6 months were just updates of things from CitizenCon. I think that he'll essentially imagine it had been 8 hours of content or all these other things he can talk about. I think he'll just talk about those on the ICs.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. I'm treating this digital CitizenCon as essentially a 2 hour Inside Star Citizen. Being pre-recorded, and that's kind of what I'm expecting. Yeah. And I think it'll talk about all the things that are on the roadmap essentially. So the base building and stuff like that, the fabrication, probably some updates to planetary tech, and then hey, here's some new shiny ships to buy. Bang. 2 hours, not a lot of time, and I almost think he deliberately made the SCL go 3 hours just to show to show the expectations of how short it's going to be, deliberately so. So yeah, I don't know if you think the same, but that seemed to be what he was implying when he was doing that. Like he goes, "Oh, we're up to 3 hours," and then someone said it in chat, and he kind of leaned into it.
Yep.
So yeah.
No, look, I think it'll be interesting to see. Half a citizen is going to be ship sales, as Pete says, and I kind of wonder how. My question is how it's going to impact ship sales.
Yeah. Well, me and Grim have been talking a lot in the background, and I haven't had the same chance to do that with you this week, but we'll probably do it either this afternoon or tomorrow when I'm going to record.
Probably tomorrow. This hour I'm going to be pretty busy, but yeah.
Yeah, well, after you've just been in hospital, not surprised. But there's some things I've got to catch you up on. We're pretty sure we've nailed down what the ships kind of have to be. We just are arguing, well, not arguing, heatedly debating what the order has to be. And that's where it throws some spanners in, because there's two different ways it can go. Essentially, without telling you everything, essentially there's 2 medium ships and 2 large ships, right? Now, if you were going to sell those, knowing 2 of them are the same category and then 2 of them are the same manufacturer, you would expect that you'd swap the 2 mediums so it's essentially they're not cross-pollinating, and you'd swap the 2 manufacturers so they're not cross-pollinating. That made sense to me. And now it's just like, does that come here or does that come here? So it's there. We've got the groups, which is like which order is coming first, and there is things that we've heard from different things that point to which one's coming first in different places, and that's it's literally confusion is just where they're coming now.
My initial thought would be you sell the ship that's worst first.
That was my thought as well.
And then people buy that one. Oh, you sell the worst, most expensive ship first, and then you sell the perfect ship next.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Well, 2 of them that that are coming is essentially the Paladin and the Perseus. So I'd assume the Paladin would come first and then the Perseus would come at AIE, and they're the 2 that are in the same category. The other 2 I won't really talk about, but it's really obvious now because of I'll just talk about it. Fuck it. So we know the Pioneer's coming, right? We know that the highest level of Consolidated Outland ship is the Nomad, right? And we know that the Barge is potentially Consolidated Outland, or maybe it's a completely different manufacturer. But long story short, that the gap has got to be bridged, right? Knowing that going in, knowing that they've done it with other ships, like for example, they talk about one thing and then they'll start making, like they're making the Polaris and the Perseus, but then they've made other RSI ships underneath that, right? So they already knew and were planning for ships to bridge that gap. Where the fuck are they? Right? So there's clearly a medium and a large from Consolidated Outland that has to exist to get to the Pioneer. The Pioneer started production at the end of last year, so it's been in production for a year. So therefore, it's got a year to go, maybe longer, right? But how do you get there? So they've had to have started work. So you're at least getting one of those ships, if not both. And there's your medium, there's your large, and then you've got a Paladin and a Perseus. There's your 4 ships. You chuck in the RSI Salvager, there's your AIE, and there's your Citizen Con, because there's 2 ships coming in October. So 2 of them, you see what I mean? And there's your other 3. Bang. And chuck in the Atlas, there's your vehicle. Bang. Done. That's everything.
Now, the only way you could flip that would be to say, well, the Consolidated Outland ships that they're building have been used for Squadron, and they haven't sold them. But then the question is, if your ship's already done and ready, and you've done all the stuff, why wouldn't you sell it? So
again, surprises for Squadron 42. I come back to things like the Javelin. They know it. Everyone, they've already showed enough of the Idris, and I think the Javelin very clearly is dynamic server meshing. That's why it's not here. It's too big. It needs stuff to break it up. And then as for the barge, or whatever you want to call it, I think that's got the way it's loaded, it's got like some kind of loading system. So either that would have to be implemented into stations so you could use it in game, where therefore that's just too much work. So that's held off until it's needed. We'll have to, or it's not Consolidated Outland and it's another manufacturer, but it looks very Consolidated Outland. It might be. I've had Paul said that he thinks it's the Crusader Jupiter.
Look, if it was a Crusader Jupiter, that'd be awesome. because it ties in with lore. It ties in with something we know is in game, supposedly.
Because it's got similar. So if you look at the Spirit and the Intrepid, the way the little circular engines go, they are similar. That they could be seen as Consolidate Outland or as Crusader engines. So
yeah,
wait and see.
Look, either way, I'd be happy with either ship, to be honest. I've always, I was a bit miffed that we got the Kraken as a Drake ship, as a Drake carrier.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, when there was nothing in lore that said they had it, when we had an in-character lore civilian carrier that wasn't built.
Yeah. So the downside to this obviously becomes a large ship, but then again, think about the Starfarer. It came out of absolutely nowhere, and technically it's a large. So we're talking,
You mean a Star Lancer?
I do that all the time, don't I? Yeah, I do. We're talking something like Galaxy Ironclad down to a Connie in size for a large, so it's in that ballpark. And then your medium is essentially below an Asgard down to like a Cutlass. So there's some ballpark there, and I keep coming back to, like, we keep also talking about what they could be. And like we said in the video that I don't know if we did on the weekend or the weekend before, but they also mentioned an orange salvager, right? And I can't now get away from Consolidate Outland, knowing they have to bridge that gap. Like the initial speculation everyone jumped to, including myself, was Argo, and knowing that Consolidate Outland is also orange, and I think he deliberately said orange to make people think Argo. I think it's deliberate now, because what other gap is there? Like there's no other hint that's pointed at what those new ships to be. So that would essentially mean that if the Reclaimer has become capital, which we know it has, the larger one, so the Galaxy down to Connie size one, would be the Salvager, right? And then therefore the medium one that we saw in the blue silhouette video, that could go back to do a general purpose transport vehicle thing that assists the Pioneer. That all makes sense to me, right? And Consolidate Outland, as well as I do, they're on the the fringes, out in the sticks doing the salvage. That fits their mantra, as well as Argo. It works for either of them. And you'd agree with me, probably Consolidate Outland needs a lot more ships, especially when we know they're trying to get to the Pioneer.
I could be wrong, but I think Consolidated Outlands is based in Terra. I could be wrong.
Okay. But they are like Elon Musk, right? And he's got his hands in all
doing weird stuff.
Yeah, so he's got like rockets, he's got boreholing companies, he's got flamethrowers, he's got shit all over the shop, right? So it kind of does fit within that mantra of things. And there's a little bit of alien tech in there as well. We know that the Pioneer's got some, and the Nomad have got some alien tech in there. So they do borrow a little bit from MISC in that way. And I think the way Paul pitched it to me is they like to think of themselves as high end, but like Elon's cars, they catch on fire and stuff. So they try to appear as high end, but they really come off as more in the middle.
So they look like Origin.
Yeah.
But they function like Drake.
Yeah, but they're plastic, not actually like metal or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit like that.
Look like Origin, function like Drake.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of interesting. But a good way to put it. But we definitely need more Consolidate Outland ships. And I know a lot of people are going to go, they think I'm reaching. But at the very end, the thing I keep coming back to is we know all the things they talked about with the whole reason the Ironclad was made was because they needed to bridge the gap to the Kraken. They need to do the same thing to get to the Pioneer. Where are those two ships?
Yep. And we've got the Pioneer being built, and the next closest ship to it is a Nomad. And then go, what's in between?
Yeah. And we know
100%.
More often than not that medium looks very Sinu. So maybe we don't get that in this sale. Maybe that's the one, because it did say starting production. So maybe that's kicked off. Maybe we don't even get the so-called potential salvager. Maybe it is Argo, right? But you've got we can only work with what we know, can't we? Right? And we know that gap needs to be crossed. My concern would be, could they knock out two ships of that size in a, like, how long ago did they start them? They could have been sitting there for 18 months. We just don't know.
Yeah.
And you would agree with me, Algared, knowing the Pioneer started at the end of the year, the pre-production would have started 6 months before that. So we're almost at that 18 months.
Yep. 100%. Thank you, Parker. Galactopedia lists Consolidated Land at Bremen, the breadbasket of the UEE.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
Okay. I've driven everyone away with my rampant speculation.
You have. Natal Brits, do you think they are removing concept sales, concept packs due to the imminent legislation changes? Possible.
Ooh,
I think
there's legislation changes. I didn't know about that.
Look, if there are, possible, but
yeah, definitely if a possibility then.
If that's the case, then definitely. But even based on just what Sandy told us when we talked to her, and why Squadron 42 was pulled out, she didn't like the idea of selling something that was you didn't have anything for. You know, and I just think, and taking out the concept ships and from the packs and putting ships that are in game just seems to me to echo that.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything nefarious or otherwise with that. It's just
if they've got to follow the law, then it's outside their.
Yep.
You know,
and if it's a law issue, well, then that's a that solves that problem.
Yeah. All right. Next question, please, mate.
Next is PC Gamer Radio. Do you think medical beacons can only be seen in a medical ship?
No, I was just suggesting that as a quick fix.
Yeah.
I think you'll eventually be able to see medical beacons all the time. It'll be more like what was originally kind of planned. But my thing was like just a quick fix to get it to work right now. That's how I would do it. But again, that needs a coder to do that. It's not something that just an artist can do or something.
It's a problem they've got. So it's old code. Chris in chat says, did Sandy Roberts return to marketing role in CIG? She is heading up the release of Squadron 42.
Yeah. He's the head of Squadron 42 marketing. Right. Zavith, is that next one?
PC Gamer Video says, it goes on and says, or should medical beacons go to a hospital and then the hospital creates a medical mission for the mission screen?
No, just everyone. Because again, a pirate might want to fake it. But, you know, you gotta leave that stuff open. And again, being a medical thing, it's the type of thing they'll do publicly to get attention. You know, as in, I need help. That's the risk you do by putting out a medical beacon. You're not just calling the medical; you're calling everyone. And they want that to be
everyone know you're there, and then it's a matter of, you know, person heals you, but do they strip you beforehand, or do they just space you?
Zavith says, if I upgrade to the Medivac after drones arrive in game, will I still get the modules since they're included because of the absence of the drones? Yes. I'm pretty sure that they're going to just make them free across the board. If you look at it, they tried to sell modules for the Retaliator and then they went back and kind of didn't sell them anymore. So I think that's always been a part of the plan. Just include them with the ship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they never actually sold the modules for it. They just said you'd be able to change the beds.
Yeah.
So originally it wasn't really modules. It was just being able to swap the beds out. But how do you do that easily? You make modules with the beds in.
And I think much like if you look at where they had the Retaliator base and the Retaliator bomber, the cost of those modules are included in the Apollo.
Yep.
That's just
Commander A's. Yeah, that's your thought. And I don't disagree with it, by the way.
That's okay. Sorry.
Commander A's. If you read the panels around the med bay on the Apollo, they give a health score. I think we've already done that.
We did that one.
That was the first time chatter, wasn't it?
It was. I just forgot to tick it. My bad. Sorry.
Barry Blue Jeans, we've done that one. Raymond
It's Ray. Donnie Ray.
Donnie Ray, yep. Donnie Ray. I think that's going to stick. Donnie Ray. What having the medical capacity to suspend a patient would you, until you could arrange transport to a hospital? So what about having medical capacity to suspend a patient until you could get them to a hospital?
Isn't that kind of what tier 3s are meant to do? Like if you have a tier 1 injury, they essentially drug you up so you can get to a tier 2 to a tier 1 type of thing. I think that's kind of with the drugs.
I I think that may have been implied with the drugs, and I think that may also be when you're doing your, you're running out, getting someone, and you're jabbing them and filling with drugs. That's basically what you're doing.
So he's talking about suspensions and it like literally halts the timers. No, I don't agree with that, because then it makes that urgency. And think about all the TV shows you've ever seen where it's a medical, quick, start, get him. They're all panic, all channels. Yeah. This guy's dying, get him there right now.
But I think it'll certainly suspend, as in increase the timer.
Extend, not suspend. But yeah, and again, you want that tension. Tension is good.
If I can suspend, I can just leave you on the bed and just keep doing.
If I could suspend, I would never heal Algared. He would live there. He would be suspended and be a statue, and I'd decorate him with glitter for Christmas and Easter eggs for Easter. Like, it'd be great. If
you want to see someone suspended, go to Wicklow. Go to Wicklow and see our lovely Tessa Bannister.
Come see Algared, the stuffed animal.
Come see Tessa Bannister. Right? She's still in suspended animation. So
stuff this.
We need to kill Wicklow just to free Tessa.
Mm-hmm. I think there'll be some kind of cool little mission there at some point where she'll come out.
At some point,
yeah. All right.
Because if they just leave Tessa like that, that's not going to go well with older backers.
Okay, we've got about half an hour left, but only maybe 10 questions, so we might get through what's there. But if you've got a question, feel free to chuck it in. Harold Palmer says, what do you guys reckon the unannounced items and armor is listed on the Citizen Code Goodies back? We kind of talked about this a little before. It's we didn't actually go over the image. Hang on. Where is I think I... Oh, shit.
You mean the goodies pack image?
No, he means the thing, but I gotta go into the...
Yep.
I gotta go back into the thing and I lost it. What was it? Man, I've already opened up too many windows today. Yeah, we didn't go through the Q&A for the Apollo either. We should probably do that too after this before. Let me just go back.
And if not, that's our show for the week.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Hang on. Open. I really hate you click on this and it just does that.
Sometimes it's frustrating.
Very frustrating. All right. So specifically the two armor packs, I think they are very much shipjacker related.
Those two.
Yeah, these two in the background.
Yep.
I think we went through this last week, didn't we? I feel
we might have talked about it.
Yeah. So if you look
I think they're the two armor packs. That's our flights. That's our flight suit and helmet, and then there's an undersuit on the other side.
Yeah, so if you look at the kind of silhouette, you can kind of tell that they're rough. They're not really smooth like traditional UAE armors. The Mohawk kind of really gives that one away. So I think they are definitely more Pirate Affair. This one here really does catch me as an updated version, because if you literally type in Star Citizen, ship Jack armor, or that there, shipjacker armor Star Citizen. You can see I've Googled this before. Literally what comes up is some of the bounty hunting stuff, right? And this is a very, very old render of the heavy. Now we have the medium one in game, which is this one, and it is in one of the packs this week, the Pirate Week packs. And then there was the light one, which was this one, Algared. But we never ever saw the light or heavy in game. And I'm wondering if that's in fact what God, I've lost it again. God damn.
Yeah, what that picture is.
What these could. No, I don't think this is the light one, because it doesn't look light enough. But I'm wondering if it's this, because again, you got to take into account. Give me a second. I'm trying to put them next to each other. So what I'm trying to show here is, like, notice the circle motif. And the cabling, and then if you look on the mouth, there's also another circle. So when you go back here, look, you've kind of, it's a little circle there and a little circle there, the 4 little lights. And then if you kind of go back to here, you can see the 4 little lights on here. So I'm wondering if it's a slightly updated, modified, like, notice how it's fairly bulky here. I think it's slightly trimmed down, and that could be it.
I would expect that's not a heavy armor, though. That would
maybe it's become a medium. I don't know.
So, but I think what you're seeing in that graphic is you've got the 2 armor suits, that are greyed out. You've got the flight suit that's blocked out, and you've got the armor set with the helmet, or the jumpsuit with you've got the jumpsuit, the flight suit.
Yeah, but
with helmet and the two
they're
armor
asking
suits.
what we think the two armors are. That's the question. So I'm just focusing on the two armors.
Yep.
And what I'm trying to say, long story short, I think they're shipjacker pirate themed. I think that's where they're leaning towards. I think they're towards the unlawful side. And I think the reason for that is
the Paladin.
No. What is the next system coming after Pyro, Algared?
Oh, Nyx.
And who is in Nyx, being the law guy?
Well, it's not the OMC, it's the People's Liberation Mob.
Yes.
Who are in Delamar.
But they are a little bit, like a couple of steps back from Pyro, but they are not in the best condition, are they not? And that's what that looks like.
They're not in the best condition. They're independents. I think they're dealing with some having the problem of the pirates kind of moving in, but trying to be independent.
And same thing with the Vandal moving in as well. So, but it's not lawful. It's they're trying to be neutral, almost like chaotic neutral in a weird way. But
they're neutral. Yeah.
So they are you know they are not in good tech, but they're not. So think of it like low tech, but lawful.
Think of it like Grim Hex, but lawful.
Yeah, that's another way to do it. Yeah, that works. Grim Hex, but lawful.
So it is an old abandoned. You know, they moved into the abandoned mining system. They're political refugees and dissidents.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I think that's where that's kind of tipping to. So and again, as Algared said, this is the Paladin flight suit. That is Nyx. So again, they both line up with what I'm kind of expecting at CitizenCon. I'm hoping the Paladin, which makes sense. Again, you split the Paladin and the Perseus because they're both gunships. So the Paladin here, the Perseus here, and then one Consolidate Outland each at each of those. That's what makes sense to me. I don't know if that's the way it's going to go, but we'll wait and see.
But the question did ask unannounced items and armor, so that we're asking for what we think everything is. And I think, you got your armor, your flight suit, your jumpsuit. They're listed. Yeah,
but the guns you can't really guess on because there's nothing. The only thing you can really go on is the images, right? And again, you would also agree if I go over to the other side, this is just the usual flight jacket they give every year. Look, it's just a civilian in so it's just some it's just CitizenCon clothing. So it's who cares? Yeah,
right. And the reason I suggested crates as decor is because there are crates in that thing, but we don't know.
Think of it like loot box mechanics, Algared. Whatever they are in the box. And I could see that as well. You know, the Namo box but yeah. So again, if you wanted to point things that point to this, Algared would agree with me. Go back and look at previous CitizenCon goodies packs, and it'd be on par.
So if you want to know what the quality is of the stuff, just look at the other packs. But
so and some of them have been really advantageous. Like last year's, you got a P8 sniper rifle. You cannot buy a P8 sniper rifle at the store. You have to go into a location and find one in a loot box. So it's the only way you could actually get one permanently assigned to your account. And then on top of that, they gave out kind of rare skins. So the people that turned up in person, we got one that looked almost like the default gun, but it had camo on it. So it's like a black and white camo where the default is just white. Then they gave a blue one everyone that went to or bought the goodies pack, and then I believe there was a black one. I don't know what the black one was for, but there was essentially 3 of them. So that's probably why it's now got the value it does now, because again, it's the only way. It's one of the best sniper rifles in the game. So yeah,
I'm going to argue against you, Zyzor. By the way, Zyzor says, you know who's not in Nyx, and he says Anthony Tanaka. And technically...
Why are you talking to me like I understand any of the words coming out of your mouth right now? Right. Just tell the story.
But, I will. Now, technically, Anthony Tanaka is not in Nyx, but he is. Because he is the statue in Delamar. He's the young kid who gets killed because he stands up to the Meza regime and starts the revolution. And they've got a statue to Anthony Tanaka saying, hey, this is what we stand for. So he's not bit of
maybe
use.
hey, see that's a really good thing. Maybe that's a citizen con item. Maybe like a small statue of that statue to put in your hangar. That's the type of thing I'd expect.
Yep, that would be a decor item.
Yeah. Again, I'm leaning towards Nix because it's very common. Something that we see at a citizen con, the next citizen con, you see an update or it's ready to go in game type of thing. I know it took 6 years of Pyro or 5 years or whatever, but the plan was always, you know.
Well, I think it's the planet systems are like ships. How long how long did it used to take for ships to come out? Years.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. How long does it take now? Months.
Well, it's still got them time to build that team out, isn't it? They only had what was it? Like they showed that thing where there was 8 people for ages, and then it grew.
And then you look at when they redid the moons and Stanton. How long did it take them to redo everything?
3 people, 2.5 months, I think it was.
Yeah.
So once the tools are there, then you start actually getting the people to work on stuff. The whole of Stanton's just been a test bed to learn how to do this, and now we're rolling it out. You know, look at Montreal, how they've all sped up. Now they've been there 2 years. That's why Nix is done, because they've already done it, and they're doing on the Castor and Terra and all that. Yeah.
And as Starjump says, the reason we had Pyro held up was server mission.
Absolutely. You can jump in if you want. Grim, we've been talking about a whole bunch of shit you and I talked about yesterday. He wanted to invite you to a show too, Algared, but you didn't answer the phone.
Yep. I'm sorry. I was, it was yesterday. I was
passed out.
Sleeping most. I was sleeping most of the day. It's amazing how, I didn't originally feel too knackered after the stay in hospital.
Gets to you when you get back.
Apparently I was.
Yeah, when you get back though, it hits you up for a second.
So
and Nix doesn't have as much to do. Like it's essentially its main landing zone is on a planetoid. It doesn't really it's got planets, but they're not the same level to say something like ArcCorp.
Yep.
Like there's no real big infrastructure. It's all almost like barren by comparison. Yes, they're going to go back and add in a lot of the little outposts and stuff, but it's not to the same level. And a lot of the outposts they talked about, if you go back to Nix, were inside asteroids. So essentially they're like spawn bunkers and stuff like that. So a bit easy to create.
Spawn bunkers and Marampa mining operations and little things like that. So Nix is unique in that sense. It's not just the one center. But they do have a problem of Vandal raids. Which raises the question, why should the UEE send forces to defend Nix? Or should they defend Nix? And then if they defend Nix, what do we do with Nix? Do we offer them, do they become members of the UEE? Would they consider becoming members of the UEE? And all
right, Algared, we're going to do the Q&A real quick, but I think we read the question and see if it even interests us before we look at it. So does the Apollo medbed modules, yes, we know that. What advantages does equipping a tier 3 or 2-3 bed module provide over a tier 1? Well, you have more of them. Yeah, basically, right. Following the recent changes to medical gameplay, spawn range and cost, how will the Apollo function if equipped with 2 med modules of different tiers?
Cost independent on the bed.
It's on the ship. It's future iterations. Wait. This is dependent on the bed. Yeah, they've kind of stated that. Okay. This is all very obvious stuff. So what is the reason for increased size in the Apollo? Here we go. As with a lot of older concepts, a certain aspect of gameplay have changed or been revisited, requiring additional metrics, in particular the requirements required space and angles for the things like the gurneys to travel. Yeah, I thought that might be what that was for. So yeah, bringing in the beds. Needed space.
So when the Apollo grows so it can fit those things, how does that impact on ships like the Aurora or the to get them up to speed with all their components and everything else?
I think they're talking here about the size of the gurney, so they're talking about sliding the beds through. Nothing about components. So I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say the size of ships like the Galaxy and the Endeavour.
Well, it will have an impact on them as well, but they're not as old. But I was just thinking, ships like the Aurora that need to have their components put in, they will be impacted by that type of stuff as well. But
it's a different thing.
But the moving things, the path thing, just is bloody obvious.
With the Apollo size having increased considerably, how is this reflecting the handling weapon components? The ship has been adjusted to suit larger frame to compensate. The ship generates a quantity, shield generate quantity has doubled from 4 size 2 shields. The missiles and hard points have been increased as well. Okay, it makes sense. Are the Apollo paints comparable between the train? Yes, they are. Does the Apollo have emergency lights? Yes, it does.
Yes,
Does
it
the Apollo
does.
provide dedicated storage for medical tools? Yes, they
Yes, it
are. The
does.
racks. So that one I
There's a
really
pretty-
there was only really one in there that I was interested in, and that was the this one.
And
No, not that one.
I think the one above that, the one, what's the advantage of having tier
this one.
1 beds over the others? I think that.
So they did a really cool
wolf, as well.
A really cool wolf Q&A. Straight back to shit. 1 question out of 10. But yeah. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, I can't say there was anything there that really made me
jump
out of my seat as to what was new.
Bit of a vague answer. I would have liked a little bit more in depth in exactly why, but I guess the beds make it, the mobile they call them gurneys, but yeah, is the reason.
But I think even in terms of the advantage of the beds, like read the jump point, the jump point article on the medical stuff, and you clearly get an idea that the different quality of beds is going to have an impact on how well your imprint degrades. So you're using a tier 3 bed, you're going to degrade more than if you use a tier 1 bed.
Yeah.
It's blatantly obvious that's how they're going to do it just based on that information. So, yeah. Wacky Wish. Do you think they will eventually make it so players can make medical goo?
I hope so.
If you've got the right ingredients, yeah.
I think that's the other thing. Obviously, being a medical goo, it's probably got a bio component rather than an ore component. So we kind of need that agriculture and science stuff. So
maybe that's why we need Valakars. Radiated Valakars, because that's where we get medical goo from.
Maybe that's the end of the
ASD story. This is where
the respawn crisis.
Yep. We get medical goo from Valakars, and this doctor who's been doing all this evil stuff, he's developed a medical goo. Hey, Star-JM. Glad to see you.
Maybe it's like an acronym and you redo the words and it says Old Man Hurston. And you realise that the medical goo is just crushed uwu girls.
No, it's when you crack the code, it's not Agent Orange, Solvent Green.
How you doing, Grim?
So how you guys doing? So I won't derail you tonight, but I will say you were just talking about NICs and systems and stuff. And one important thing to remember, and we've talked a lot about this, but is there are a lot of NICs and Levski files hidden in the game files now, and I'm talking the new Levski and the new NICs. There's a lot of geometry, a lot of system data that are hidden in the current. Actually, in the last 4 or 5 patches, that data has been there. So there has been a lot of work happening on NICs. So, if that gets anyone excited.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'll ask you the question. We were just looking at that shipjacker stuff. Do they fall into the NICs field for you? They do for me.
I'm not the lore expert like Algared, but what we do know is that in in the monthly reports recently, there has been some discussion about that, and there's I think was it a Galactopedia update not too awful long ago or something. I think even referenced something about like some of the gangs of Pyro. I forget where that information was, but there was some information on the Pyro gangs and the Pyro, factions and stuff.
Well, at the very least, if we're going to NICs, it's going to be through Pyro. And I cannot see them not taking the opportunity, knowing what they're doing with ASD and the storyline and stuff, that they make some kind of similar thing. Like say it doesn't come at the end of the year, right? Say it's like what you said, and it's like 6 months away or whatever, right? They do a storyline that leads to the jump point that then leads into NICs. I could just totally see that being a thing.
And that's the great thing about this story they've been doing, this region story thing, is that come CitizenCon, even if Nix is not ready for testing, which I'm not expecting it to be, although I think it's in a state where it probably could be. The great thing is all they have to do in this presentation is say, hey, this story that you're playing through is going to take you to Nix next year sometime. And that alone is going to get people even reinvested into this story. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So, yeah.
Yep. It has been really interesting to see them kind of learn on their toes, so to speak, this year. You can see that they've tried things that haven't worked. They've tried things that have worked, essentially alliterating, improving as they go. And I'm sure they're taking meticulous notes. And I don't think I'd find anyone that would disagree that they're generally improving as they have gone forward. You know, you look at some of the problems with the resource drive and stuff like that, and they've learned. But again, you go back and look at the very first one they did at the start with all the notepads and stuff. No more notepads. Notepads are gone. They just threw them all out. They're shit. You know, and then and every little one's been slightly a little bit different. They've tried different things like the orbital assault with the align and mine and stuff like that. That showed me some really interesting things about putting PvPers with industrial players. That was really interesting to see. So I'm sure they learned some stuff there. And now you've gone into the ASD facilities and it's a lot more FPS focused and stuff like that. But you can start to see the feeling of those facilities they were talking about under ArcCorp, you know, the sewers and stuff. I can see the DNA of that in, especially the final, in the one, the science wing. I can definitely see the vibe that they're going for. And then if you like also add some things like the copians and stuff like that, we know that from, you know, that trailer of Squadron 42, there was that little crocodile looking thing, or basilisk, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's going to kind of be some of those and some humans in the sewer. I can kind of see where they're going with that. And if they add remember in that section in the trailer, Algared, where there was that really cool scene where you're walking like waist deep in water? You know the one do you remember the one I'm talking about? So if you can pull off that scene and you're actively like shooting it, oh man, I think they're on a winner.
Well,
if they can get that.
And remember, and I'm pretty sure I told you this, but remember, I at Quantum, I talked with Sean Tracy, and Sean Tracy told me the next big creature is essentially a Valakar, but a water-based one.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah. I didn't share that with people.
So
that was yours to share.
Yes. No worries. So he said that's kind of the next big creature. Now, not necessarily the next creature, but the next big one they're working on is sort of in the Valakar family, but water-based, and we'll be dealing with it in some sort of water scenario. So
you remember sitcom, and you remember. I'm sure you remember the swamp Valakar, which was basically in water.
Just going to open this real quick. I've got to open 2 images real quick. But this was found in the files. I just don't think it looks very water-based yet. And you got to remember, this is untextured. So this is like, it looks Valakar to me, but it just doesn't look water-based. It's similar to the swamp one, though. Wouldn't you agree? You know, the swamp one? And again, sewer swamp? Like, maybe.
Definitely more serpentine, you know.
But yeah, it's not very interesting when you look at it in the files and it's just a giant sausage.
But you think of the problem the Americans have with the Everglades with the snakes. Why are the snakes in the Everglades? Because they get tossed down the toilets and
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I could see it. He said water based.
Yeah,
a swamp sewers is water.
That's true.
So yeah.
And he was pretty excited about it. He didn't go in depth or anything, but he was like, "Yeah, it's going to be really, really cool." So,
if you actually think of the actual Valakar, that's quite a change because the Valakar essentially doesn't have any eyes. It's just like a tri-mouth. This is a dual mouth with eyes. Like that. That's if you think about an evolution, that's like millions of years. That's not like 2 weeks in the sewer. That's like quite a substantial change.
I mean, I'm pretty optimistic for, especially, I mean, we've seen it with these ASD facilities and all this stuff. Very optimistic with what CIG could surprise us with environment wise. Maybe there is some sort of swampy environment in an upcoming patch, only because if anything, a lot of people are very doubtful of, quote unquote, the status of Squadron 42, CIG being straightforward with all that. Well, it's pretty obvious to me that they're at least content complete on Squadron 42 because we've seen so much more content in terms of environments, buildings, interiors, ships, all this stuff coming into the PU, which means those artists aren't working on Squadron anymore, which is why we're seeing all these crazy environments like these ASD facilities and all this stuff. So, that many more artists, we could easily see some sort of swamp or sewer environment or something. So,
yeah, at Citizen Compete, they talked about doing instance things under the sewers of ArcCorp. You can go back and look at the panel, and it's starting to line up with some of the things we're seeing.
Yeah. And even
Dafty Digit saying, "What about the Flat Cat?" I don't know the Flat Cat reference. Or is it? Have you heard?
Flat Cat is a pet that's popular in the EU. It comes from a very gravity-heavy planet, so it's flat or squat.
Does Old Man Hurston use this for his footstool?
It is referenced in the loading screen of the PU right now.
Right.
Too.
They're very popular in grooming. The grooming of flat cats. Yes.
I can see Old Man Hurston buying 2 of these. He puts a chair on one and then sits on the chair and then just puts his feet up and they just walk him everywhere.
Yeah. I could possibly see that. Yep. But yeah. So they're just a cat and. I think SCA adopted the flat cat as their kind of mascot.
Okay.
So there you go.
He's talking about our org there when he says that. So
the Australian org, Star Citizen Australia or Southern Cross Alliance, take your pick.
Yeah. So this is the one that I used for when we did that episode with Grim, by the way. And I think you'd agree that is probably the same thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, not with Grim. Sorry, with Morph.
And that's a swamp Valakar.
Yeah, that's a swamp Valakar.
Yep.
There's a person standing here in the shot. So yeah, I've color tuned it and shit like that, but the shape is it looks very similar.
I think that's a swamp version.
Yeah. See, that looks a lot more Valakar to me because essentially, you know how you got all the ribs on the Valakar? They've kind of made themselves more small and scaled, where this one is literally scales. Like we're talking like millions of years of evolution between these two things. Like they're not even the same animal anymore. Like they're completely different.
I think that they're all Valakar, and the reason we've got so many of them is because of ASD's experiments. That's the reason why we've got so many of them.
Okay, that could make sense.
And that ties in with my conspiracy theory that the Valakar are where we're going to be getting our goo from. So there you go. That's my conspiracy theory based on ASD being evil bastards. So.
Thank you for coming to Algared's Tinfoil Hat Talk. You can find all good audio platforms, including the bizarre conservatives of conspiracytheories.com. Right, yeah.
101 uses for Valakar.
101 uses for tinfoil. But
No, Parker, Hurston's favourite pet, I think, is Copian. I want a Copian stuffed toy for Hurston. You know, we've got the whale for
wouldn't it just be a giant
Crusader?
Smog,
we've got
a giant smog cloud, just a floating smog cloud. Do you need the little cloud plushes you get, but it's just like brown.
For ArcCorp, you want the turtle.
Yeah.
Turtle.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I do wish they would go back and do this. Maybe they will at a later date. But yeah, it is a bit weird that some have them and some don't.
You know, so I think Hurston and ArcCorp need to have their mascot. And I think for ArcCorp, it's a Leyland turtle, and for Hurston, it should be the Valakar. Not the Valakar, the Copian.
Yep.
So, because we don't have Valakar on Hurston.
Yep.
At least I don't think so. Not yet.
Maybe they did show off a lot of different ones, so I have to kind of wait and see. I'd assume being the Savannah biodome, it's more likely a sand one.
If we do get Valakar on Hurston, it's because you know the evil agents from ArcCorp or Crusader or that have planted them there to try and disrupt operations.
Algared just wants to go out and ride worms and call himself Al Ghul or something like that, and get on his Dune fantasy. Woo! And just have all the him and the Ooh girls on a worm. Woo! Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. See that? He's just sniffing the dust. Spice. He just
bit of spice, bit of Evercrack. Sorry, don't never take the product. Never use the product.
Yeah. Only once a day. Yeah. All right then. All right. Well, let's get some more questions, Algared.
Do you think CIG will revisit the next great starship after Squadron 42?
No.
That series was one of the things that drew me into Star Citizen. I just hope CIG do it again.
That was essentially a hunt for artists. That's what that show was. And that's kind of why the second one never eventuated, because they just didn't need to do it anymore.
Right, that was a CryEngine hunt.
It was a cry for help.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we've seen a tightening of the ship team pipeline over a lot of changes there in the last couple of years, and I think if anything, they're trying to sort of lock down their processes internally and not throw any more wild cards into the mix. So I don't see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
The next great starship was purely just to get engineers, just to get artists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see that in the way it was done. Ray Donny says there are Valakar already on Hurston. The enemy agents have already tried to disrupt operations on Hurston. Most disappointing. I have to put a snow one on Microtech. Yeah.
Does snow one just be like a giant hairy worm?
I don't know.
Like,
or maybe a supercharged.
That, like, and it's just like it's so. like think about the. No, I'm thinking of like the guy, the Yeti thing on Hoth. But so it's like white and hairy, and it just comes like.
Yeah, but then they've already got their apex predator on.
Yeah, it'll be kind of cool. Maybe eventually someone will release one there, and then it'll evolve. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
That's right.
All right. Next question.
Okay. Next question is from Artemis TGM. Great stream with Groom the other day. Algared, I have that exact blue tie. Oh, thank you for the tie and great stream. And that's about all he says.
Yeah.
He just.
Well, Grim wants to be on there.
Actually, is there a question?
That's probably just a statement.
Are we expecting any radical AI changes to the Paladin, or any radical changes to the Paladin at launch?
Oh, you take that one, Grim.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a rather new concept. They're getting really good at locking these newer concepts down to what goes flight ready. As a matter of fact, the Paladin is maybe the last concept ship we received, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's very nailed down. As a matter of fact, I think you'll see hardly any changes from the concept to what they have now, or what goes flight ready.
Did you see any stuff from early on today's stream?
I missed the first couple hours. I was helping someone move.
So long story short, they've removed all the they've gone through all the packs, and they've removed any ship that is in concept.
Yeah, so someone posted in the stream we did yesterday about that. I forget who it was when we were talking about concept ships. Someone mentioned that, and that was pretty surprising to me. I didn't realize they had done that. And
one reason is the same reason we're given for Squadron being removed, which is you don't get anything for it, but you technically get loaners. And the second one was someone was saying there's apparently some legislation thing changing. I don't know what country or whatever, but we'll have to look into that.
I can see that. I could see that. Yeah. But no, I don't think there'll be any changes to the Paladin. If you love the concept, I think you're going to be very happy with the ship, because I think it's going to be pretty much what you saw in the concept.
Yeah.
All right, next one, Algared. Skip that next one.
So Sand Chimera says, I have a Terrapin medic and a CCU to upgrade to triage or medevac. Worth the upgrade for a monthly solo player?
$25.
I think and he says, I think the Terrapin is just as tough and easier to move around.
It really comes down to you're essentially got a one-man versus a two-man crew. The medical Terrapin is that armored Like it's probably the toughest, smallest little thing. Like that's its niche. It's getting into the combat zones. If you like that intense get in and get out action, yeah, I don't think you're going to quite get that from the Medivac variant, to be honest with you. But I think you would both agree with me that you're going to probably get more out of the Apollo because it does more. But then again, you're also paying for it with its size. It's going to cost more to run, and you need a second crew member. So,
and even if you do it solo, you downgrade it. But the advantage of it, again, over the Terrapin is the fact it does have cargo space.
Yep. You can also just sit on your upgrade and wait until such a time and make your decision later.
Yep.
Another thing to think about too is a med bed now moving forward is only as good as the med gel you have in it. And with that thinking, yes, the Apollo has up to 6 beds in it at a given time, depending on your module layout. But those beds are only all worthwhile if they're all loaded with med gel, which is a pretty hefty upfront cost. So again, when you look at it like that, if you're going in with limited med gel containers, just from a cost perspective, you still might be running the medevac with only 1 or 2 beds operable. You know what I mean?
Need to correct myself too. When we did that episode on the weekend, I said 2 million on the shelves. It turns out it's 6 million on the shelves. So, it's interesting because the pirates, I think it's like in our Western or global world or whatever you want to call it, if you tack a hospital or an ambulance, it's kind of not seen as well. I think it'll be the same thing as Star Citizen. If you steal med gel off a medical place that was needed for medical reasons, I think all sides will kind of shun you, is what I'm trying to say. I
like the idea that someone posted and said they think it should just be null and void. The value of it is just nothing.
Once you buy it, it's worth nothing.
Yeah, you buy it and fill it in, and it's worth nothing.
I think it's got to be temptation, but then if you get caught out, you are screwed. Right? You always want that player choice, but there has to be consequences to your actions. And if your consequences that you are forever tarnished, so be it. Right?
But to go back to the question. Sorry,
go ahead,
to go back to the question on the med beds, I think the Medivac or the triage trumped the Terrapin because you can put the 2 tier 1 beds in, the top 2 top tier beds. And going forward, I think the top tier beds are going to degrade your imprint less. So,
from a value perspective, it's what, $25, $30 to get the triage over the top of Terrapin. It's no contest on a value proposition, but you've breaking it down to the individual person. That's where it would come in. So if you, as soon as you can safely say, I've got a friend, follow without even blinking.
And then you've just got to make the decision for yourself, whether that's.
Grim, did you want to say something? You and Algared were fighting before? No.
Oh, no. I was going to say, do you know, we'll go into back to the med gel real quick and then we can move on. Do you know if they were ever planning on, I hope this isn't the case, but were they ever planning on putting any sort of like expiration date on med gel? Does it ever like go bad, or is it supposed to be like good to go?
For Algared, that's how you do it.
Yep.
You don't make it so it is worth nothing. You make it so it expires. That's actually really clever.
So it's got to be in a bed or it expires, yeah.
Well, again, you buy 6 million worth of goo and don't heal single shit. And
but I wonder if you could put it like in a cold storage or something, though. That would be kind of cool. Or as long as it's in a slot, it's preserved.
Yeah. But it also means that you just don't buy 6 million and sit on it for 5 years. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it gives you a reason to go back and get stuff. So you would learn, like, you'd be really cautious. Or maybe I'll only buy 1 mil. Oh shit! Now we need 2. Oh shit! I brought 3 and 1 mil went bad. Player choice. Like, you can see it. Like, that works. That actually works really well.
If I don't have it in the bed, it expires.
But shit, we didn't have enough and Algared died. Or I can only revive Grim and not Algared. Oh shit, what do I do? What do I do? All right, you both got tier 3 injuries and we'll just get you back to the hospital. You know, like, you see the player choice there, right? Like, it's the tension thing I was talking about. Like, it actually works.
Yeah, I can revive you, but you're still going to have injuries. Or
Yeah.
And
you're not gonna have any ice when you get back, but at least you'll be alive.
Here's the other thing: you got an injury. I could use a full thing of med gel and heal you up, or I could use half a thing and your arm needs to be replaced with a prosthetic.
Yeah, I'm gonna revive you, but you're still gonna be ugly.
Makes me wonder if for like big org operations, if when you show up to board the ship you're assigned to or whatever, one of the things you're responsible for bringing is a med gel container for yourself.
You need to bring your med gel.
You hand that over. Hand that over to the doctor. He'll store it in storage for you, but you better bring your own.
But again, you can see the connotations there. That works on so many levels because then all of a sudden you get medical transports, or like you said, like if it's got to be chilled or heated or whatever the condition is. You see where I'm going? Like player choice. Do I just transport it in a normal cargo ship and it already starts to go bad, or can I extend it by keeping it cool? But by the same token, there's no coolers on the Apollo, but maybe there's a cooler on the Endeavor or the. You see where I'm going? Like player choice. It makes so much sense.
You've got it certainly makes the 400i with its 2 cooler rooms a priority transport for Medgel.
Yeah,
there you go.
And or you can put got milk shirts on all the
and they could also always make like a cart or something that you can put on the ship that is a mobile sort of refrigeration unit for that stuff if they want to go that far with it. Obviously it'll just sort of come down to how much fidelity they want to give that gameplay loop, and it's a balance, in terms of how deep and how accessible you want it to be. So
Commander K says, question: if you read the panels around the medical bays in the
we've done that one
like 6 times. That guy posted. Dude, post it once. It comes into the list. We will get to it. It just takes time.
Yep, it just takes time. We take our time on our questions.
We spammed that 3 times. So Dan Vera says, how close do you think we are to base building and crafting? I'm still crossing my fingers for the end of the year. Grim, I'll let you start with that one.
I think it's a next year thing, but it's going to be. I've heard some rumors, but I don't really know how much how much stock I put into them. But I've heard rumors that it's going to be the focus of next year, meaning like throughout the year we're going to be getting parts and pieces of crafting, parts and pieces of resource management, parts and pieces of base building. Because they all kind of tie in together, so we're going to kind of get parts and pieces of all of them throughout the year.
And I think that would include new ships and vehicles that lean into that.
Absolutely,
as well. SA says real quick, sorry, Algared. SA says real quick, Grim, the real world military world, that's a thing. You carry your own medical aid and don't use yours on others. So he's agreeing with you. Sorry, Algared.
When I ran a Milsim Army unit, we had some military guys in, and that was one of the things they instituted within our Army group was to pack your own medical and
That was exactly what I was going to pick up. SA's point. My question was going to be to SA. Does that does the medic on the team then supplement those with general supplies or in a reward? So you've got your medic.
So if I run out of band-aids, so I run over to the medic and he gives me more band-aids, essentially what you're asking.
Yeah, does the medic have some to suff, or does he just go through your pack and look for yours and then use yours? But yeah.
All right, Adam, you want to say something?
Go on. No, I was just gonna. I see the real world thing. Use your own to heal someone else, and then you get done, and oh crap.
Adam Pennington says, question: do you think they will do the modules for the Galaxy the same way, or keep them sold separate? I think. Well, they've sold them separately now.
They've sold them separately.
They've got to commit to the way they've done it.
They're also they're also different gameplay loops.
Yeah. So where the medical ones are all medical.
Yeah.
It needed to be included in the ship. Like you might buy a Galaxy and only want it to be refining or only want it to be medical. It's the same thing with the Endeavor. So when there are different gameplays, I think it makes sense. When they're all the same, and realistically, it's just a bed change. They're just beds. They're not quite a room change. It's a little different, and it's kind of like they're half a module, not a full module. So it'd leave a bad taste, I think, in a lot of people's mouths if you started and you wouldn't be able to charge like a full price for a module. Like you'd be looking at like $5-10 max. And again, I think they're kind of included in that price. And I think the 5% increase we saw on the ships coming out, because they only went up by 5%, Algared. I didn't talk to you about that either. It's one of the lowest we've ever seen. Yep. You now got two presidents, lower and higher in the Polaris and lower in the Apollo. Before that, it was always 10 to 20%.
And when you look at the Apollo, the original idea was that you just swap the beds out.
Yeah.
You know, and the question we used to ask is what price is a tier 1 bed going to be versus tier 3, you know, and how they do it. But I think they went the easy option of just going.
Yeah.
And thanks for the answer. As he said, in some cases, they usually carry the tier higher aid bag, and then he says what you carry is the critical emergency aid material to keep you from dying immediately, like bleeding out.
Gotcha.
So,
speaking of things like the bed switching out, not to tangent us, but going back to the Paladin real quick, just one little add on to that. It is possible. I have a feeling we could see a kit for that. With a primary top turret replacement. That's all I was going to say about that. I forgot to mention that earlier, but I could see that coming.
Yep.
Next one, Ash says, do you guys figure out the pirate code? Yes, we did. I will, give me a second. I will copy that and paste it in the chat for everyone. I just assumed everyone already found it because it's been out a couple of days. So you need, actually, let me notepad this and I'll do it as one link instead of two. Give me 2 seconds. So there's the code, and this is the page that you need. I believe this is the page. Double checking. Yes, this is the page that you need. Is it? No, it is not the page that you need. Oh, yes, it is. Yes. So I'll post that in, and then I'll post them both together. So you take that code and you go to that website and you put in the code, and they give you a bunch of priority crates for your hangar. There you go. So easy. Right. Next question, please, Mr. Algared.
I get the questions back up. Where are they? Where'd they go?
Edward Munns says, I actually have two questions only. How do you feel about the RMC nerf for the salvager game loop? And when do you think they will have a reason for the second medical screen on the medical bed? So the salvage we kind of talked a little bit earlier, and that's probably because there's some base building possible changes coming in the background. But it's kind of guessing unknown. I think you'd kind of agree with that, Grim.
I would, yeah. I haven't looked much into this RMC nerf, but from what I could tell, that's the only thing I can really think of it tying into. So yeah.
Well, and if the stuff doesn't stay in your hangar, if you store it, what's the point? It doesn't matter. It's just a balance, just a balancing issue.
As for the second medical screen, that's just getting it functional. And what benefit does that provide? Because like the other thing is, if you can do it yourself, you know, my instinct tells me that wouldn't you only really need someone else to do it if you can't do it yourself?
Yeah.
You know how you and I joked about the board game operation being a part of how medical gameplay could be, or if you were, say, putting on a prosthetic limb, you would need someone else to do that for you. So isn't that really what that'll end up being for? The things that you can't do yourself on the medical beds, that's not automated, something that requires an actual skill, that's what that would be used for. Well, that's just where my thinking goes. I'll let you guys...
Apparently RMC was just hot fixed, by the way. They're saying in chat.
Okay.
Yep. And apparently someone said earlier that it had been repaired as well, so I'm back to normal. But,
okay, good.
Mine
did trip on a cable, and they did land their face on the keyboard. Confirmed. Right, cool. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So the using the second terminal on the medical beds. Algared, do you want to weigh in on that one? Or just...
Second, that seems fine. Like the idea of using it when it can't be done. I was just reading Essay's point. He said, by the way, the triage wording in the Medivac isn't to identify the ship. It's there as a location. Yep. So it's that process of sorting patients area. So we were aware of that. If it came across that we're saying otherwise in our first impressions, that's not what we were doing. It was just
what about you, Grim?
Misunderstood in our conversation.
With the second terminal, what about you, Grim? When do you think we'll see that working?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I'm surprised it wasn't a focus already, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I still have a little trouble understanding which terminals throughout a ship are meant to be player interacting and which ones are not. There's terminals inside the Apollo that I'm like, is this just for kind of RP, or is this eventually going to be an engineering terminal because they're not showing the engineering screen, but they're oddly placed? So I'm still a little iffy on some of that, like what the consistency there is. One of the problems with Star Citizen is that because you expect so much fidelity, because CIG puts so much fidelity in there, there's a lot of stuff CIG puts into these ships, especially the ships, that you think, oh, that will be functional one day. But it might just be there for deco, you know what I mean, for RP purposes. So sometimes it's hard to figure out what that line is.
I sit here and think of gameplay connotations, right? And I'll just give you a couple of what ifs, right? So I have no factual basis on this, but this is just like how they think things through, right? When you're designing gameplay elements. For example, remember in refining how they talked about when you do refining yourself, it'll be faster than the stations do it? So now imagine all of a sudden it takes a certain amount of time to repair different injuries. Like in real life, if you go into the hospital, they've got to repair it for you. Or what if it goes the other way? What if it costs less when they manually get a nurse to repair it for you? So instead of being automated by the machine, the nurse can do it.
And those picks the part that's being fixed and then
you can see. So all I'm trying to show you is there's different ways they could do it, right? They could either make more time for the machine to do it, or they could also make it so it's just cheaper when the nurse does it. But maybe you get a scar, right?
A scar could be cool.
Yeah.
Well, ships have degradation. Yeah, I mean, ships have wear and tear and degradation. I guess you would assume characters will to some degree.
Right, so all I'm trying to get you guys to do here is kind of think about outside the box, and that's how sometimes you come to, again, think of player choice, right? Do I want that cool scar, but my arm might not move as well, but I can't afford that this week to get the full 100k medbed respawn or whatever. You get where I'm going, right? So again, player choice, and eventually you're going to be in a situation where you're screwed. You've just got to take the shittier option. So it's little connotations like that, and then you go to the tier 2 med bed, and it gives more access, and maybe you can have a doctor rather than a nurse. But you get what I'm trying to get. Like you'd have different ranks. So I've only really just started my rep grind in medical, so I haven't got access to those new operations, you know. And then I get to the tier 1, and now I can literally do brain surgery, you know. And so when Algared wakes up, he just can't stop drooling over Uwu girls. I've implanted into his mind, and it's all Frankenstein. No, I'm making things up, but you get my point, right? Like the point I'm trying to make is you need to start thinking a little side out the box, because I think that's where medical is going to go. And I think if you kind of look at medical, it can kind of go in two ways. Like it can lean into science, but it also can lean into science in a different way, where you got mad scientist and drugs and all that type of thing. But then you've also got the science of like when there's viral outbreaks and stuff like that. You see what I mean? And then what happens with the crafting element, where you bring in, like I can almost take any other gameplay in the game and sign it to another gameplay. So I'm a big game hunter. How can I sign that to medical? Well, I might need to kill a rare creature that Dr. Algared needs to cure this rare disease. That's got to go through science to get there. But then by the same token, that creature bit me. And then I need a different thing to cure it. You see what I mean? So you can pick almost any two gameplays in the game and somehow link it to another one. And I think that's the genius of how I believe this is all going to work. How everything is just integrated in each other. And that's how you get so much of that, what's the word they use? Immersive, not an immersive. The gameplay that automatically comes out. What's the word they use? Starts with I. Emergent gameplay. It just naturally happens, right? And I think that's because everything's so intricately linked, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, and in terms of the question you raised about which screens will be interactive, I think they'll all eventually be interactive. All the screens will be interactive, and I think it partly ties in with their idea of fidelity. There'll be things like the greebles, things that are greebly will just be greebles.
He's asking more how, though, Algared, if you read between the lines. He's asking, how am I going to use this with the person on the bed?
But if you're looking at the extra screens, like the two panels or consoles at the back of the Apollo. You can't interact with them at the moment.
Not talking about that. He says on the bed.
But it still applies to that as well. They're the same type of thing. They're those panels at the back of the Apollo. You can't use them, but I think they will be usable.
Yeah, I mean, I personally hope that the screen function in the future, this is what I would personally like, is that the screen function is tied to the role or rank you're given on the ship or the permission level you're given to the ship. So, for example, if you were an engineer and you just happen to be in the medical module, maybe talking with someone or your character's in there, and an engineering emergency popped up on the ship, you could turn around to one of the medical consoles and literally pull up the engineering stuff simply because you have that role assigned to you in the ship. I would love something like that just to make the ships more evergreen across the, make all the screens a little bit more evergreen across the entire ship. I don't know if CIG is going to do that, but I would like that.
Yeah, but I think all the screens will be usable at some point, and I think the screens, the med screens, it makes sense that the secondary screen is for the medic.
All right, we've completely
when you can't do it.
Tangent off the question.
And
so,
we have
PC Gamer Radio. If Nyx is to be the next system, then do you think we won't get it until after Squadron 42 due to them having Vandal enemies time exclusive? Due to them having Vandal enemies time exclusivity. Where? When did they ever say that?
The Vandal events. Vandal are threatening and they're doing Vandal raids into
the AI.
Into
yeah. Okay. So, I took that the wrong way. But the AI is already done. It's just copy paste that code from Squadron and put it in. I firmly believe that boss thing that we've been hearing about in the files is just the Vandal AI code put onto the first one we're going to kind of see in Star Citizen. I think that's what we're going to see. And the fact that all the ASD facilities are very FPS based makes logical sense to me that it's an FPS style boss. I don't know what Grim, do you want to weigh in on that one? Or?
I don't think they'll hold Nyx back for anything Squadron 42, even if there are Vandal raids in it. I mean, CIG I think's been more than open over the last 16 months in giving us things we didn't think we were going to be getting till post Squadron 42, not only ships, but even things like Wicklow. When I know it's not like a full-on character in the verse, but it's kind of a character in the verse. I mean, none of us expected a Banu to come in any way. So we've seen the Vandal enough now in Squadron 42 gameplay trailers and stuff that I can see them putting a Vandal raid in the Nyx system is sort of a rare event that happens. So.
Yep.
So Exor says these Q&As, he's applying to the medical Apollo one, were way better when they let the community ask the questions. Yeah, absolutely. PC Gamer Radio says better question would be how do we clean up the blood from patients? They just put it out the elephant.
Yep, mop and bucket.
Yeah, mop and bucket. Oh, well, they do have mock and gameplay. Yeah, they do. Parker, always half... Oh, no, this is... Edward Munster's question, are they discussions only showing missions located in each system? Since contractors are combo flooded between systems, such as Headhunters Merc have showed both systems all times. Hang on. Are there any discussions on showing missions located in each system? Yes, I think that is... because they talked about having different laws in different systems years ago, and that when you came in, it would kind of bring up a thing to tell you about that. I do think that's the final intent. I think you guys would probably agree on that.
You actually still see that if you go into your Moby Glass when you're in a system. You can actually pull up the local systems. Even in Stanton, you go to ArcCorp and you get the ArcCorp
in the journal,
come up.
In the journal,
in the journal.
Yeah.
So you still get that. It just doesn't spam.
I think also possibly one of the reasons we haven't seen a mass update on missions and stuff that span multiple systems is possibly related to ongoing work towards dynamic server meshing. With static server meshing in place, I think CIG initially was thinking, we will then update all the mission structures and backend code to work with static server meshing. And then, some years later, we will get to dynamic server meshing. I remember the language sort of being like that. And then from what we've heard from Benoit and other sources, it sounds like they're moving into dynamic server meshing much quicker than was anticipated.
Yep.
And because of that, I think it's maybe derailed a little bit of the mission compatibility across multiple star systems and being able to track missions across multiple star systems and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm wildly speculating right now, but that's my thinking.
Makes sense.
Why we've seen a little bit of a hiccup there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's even linked to, I've just lost my train of thought. Don't worry. I've lost my train of thought.
All right. Donny Ray says the next jump point is in Pyro. The question for me is, will there be a jump gate station? A really good question. Maybe there isn't because the UEE never went there. Maybe it's a system built by the people that are in Nyx, not the other way around, built by pirates.
I'd have to look at the lore. I thought that it was an old system that the UEE has pulled out of because it's not been mined.
So maybe there is a rundown UEE station then. Yeah.
Because it was a major mining station at one point. I imagine it would be, but it's.
Have to wait and see on that one.
So we have to wait. Have to wait and see.
That is interesting though. Edward Muntz says, any thoughts on the final bespoke ship for the year, given the way the year is coming to an end? Well, actually, there's two of them. And they said one's in October. Grim, I'll let you share your thoughts on that if you would like to.
Well, one of them, assuming he's saying bespoke weapon-based ships, I think there's a little bit more to that question than meets the eye. One of the ships that I've long thought is coming is another Ares variant with the bespoke beam weapon to sort of complete the Ares starfighter family. But I also think we're just going to see a host of changes coming to bespoke, or a host of options coming to bespoke weapons across the board. We saw a little bit of that last CitizenCon last year with the Scorpion weapon kit and Scorpius weapon kit and stuff like that to switch out from turret to missile turret. So I think this year we're going to see a lot of that, and I think I'm a little bit hopium, but I'm hoping we get that Ares variant.
I've told people about your post with Ben and the smiley face and all that type of stuff, so they know about all that.
Yeah.
And I think that also, I think the stuff they even talked about when they were doing the Wolf in that SLC, where they said there's more stuff coming. So and this could be completely nothing, but I also thought it was a little weird. Just last patch bundle was a patch bundle that was a paint for the Ares. I just thought that was like an odd random ship, although they have done that with other patch bundles. The mole one was kind of out of nowhere, but I did think the Ares one was kind of an odd choice, and I didn't know if that was like a little wink and a nod to it or what, but who knows.
I think you can't always get things to line up marketing to what they're doing. I think that's kind of just all that is. Right, so got two questions left. Jag
McFin.
However you say it. Maybe the future creatures will end up being a snake-like eel, like Art Corpses. Yep, that's kind of related to what we were saying before. And then Donny Ray says, notice how ambiguous across Stanton Alakar have become. How ambiguous?
Ubiquitous. How common?
Yeah, how common. I think that's going to be like, let's be honest, up until this point, the planets have been pretty lifeless. And I think a lot of that's behind the dynamic server mission, because look at how the AIs come to life over the last 12 months. It's a cart before the horse problem. I think we'll see a lot more animals, and both passive and aggressive. It's just they weren't needed for Squadron. They just
And you could see, I know they're pretty prolific now. All the creatures that are currently in the game, they're kind of prolific across all the planets. But I think when we get Planet Tech version V5, the Genesis stuff, where the planets are actually marked up with like their temperate region attributes, their resource attributes, all that kind of stuff. If I had a guess, I would think they're also marking them up for certain types of animals that have the possibility to spawn there. So I think when we get Genesis, we'll see a lot more of that kind of uniqueness in terms of which creatures are where, on what planets and what areas of those planets. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like at the moment, just putting them everywhere, and I think as time goes on, where they modify it, so you don't find Valakar on Hurston, you find them on this planet, or you don't find them on Microtech, or you don't find them in Stanton at all, because of the way they live or where they're dispersed or whatever. So,
it's like 2 days away, isn't it, Grim? What I'm looking at here.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I won't worry about that. Right. So on YouTube, we're going to be rating Paul. He's playing Jump Space. I keep going to say Jump Ship, and it's Jump Space. And then
I'm calling it Jump Point. So
and then on Twitch, we're going to raid Red Monster SC. So I'm sending you to different people.
Nice.
I don't know why. That's just what I'm doing. Live with it.
So we can.
Yeah. So, well, mainly because not all the Twitch people are on YouTube. Otherwise, I would have sent both people to raid Red Monster. So we're getting ready to raid Red Monster. We'll be watching in on you for a little bit here on YouTube as we wind out. So make sure you send him our love. What's a question, Grim, that we can ask Red Monster SC? Because I know you've met him as well, like we have. So.
Yeah, I guess just ask him. I guess we could ask him what he's thinking of the new ASD wing. That's probably the most obvious.
Has he gone in and tried to mine? Not that you can, but...
Yeah, well, yeah.
All right. Twitch, say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube, say goodbye to Twitch. Actually, I should take it over here so we can actually... wait, I'm on the wrong
That's
thing.
a good question to ask. Can he mine?
Yeah.
How's he enjoying mining when you can't mine?
He's actually at Hathor right now, so yeah. All right, then. Twitch, say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube, say goodbye to Twitch. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, Twitch.
Bye. And they're gone. All right, let's have a quick listen in and see how he's doing. You can hear the Valakar there now, can't you?
Channel raid activated.
Inforunners, how you guys doing?
What? Nobody can hear me?
No, but I like to pretend he can.
Thank you for the raid. Let's give a quick shout out for do I have
you're welcome.
Can give Inforunners a shout out. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Like I could actually type and talk to him, but that's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll love him and leave him.
Running.
Yep.
I gotta run too, but thanks for letting me hang out, boys. Appreciate it.
Well, I'll see you. I'll see you in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Do you want to pimp your thing real quick? Yeah, that me and you did yesterday, and we'll be doing on Monday mine, Sunday yours, real quick.
Yeah, well, we have the backlog part 2, which on Sunday, which will go through all the backlog ships, or at least the second half of them that are more far off, like Genesis, Crucible, Endeavor. And we just kind of talk about what the status of those currently are, what rethinks may have to happen as they come into verse. Just sort of a refresher. I mean, I think a lot of our these ship-based content creators like us and you guys and stuff cover this from time to time, and it's always nice to sort of take a look at that backlog and just see what's left. And then, of course, Algared, just as so you know, you are always welcome to come and hang out.
It'll be Monday morning our time.
Yeah, Monday mornings.
You'll be at work.
I'll be at work.
Yeah. I don't usually do that night, but it's the night the wife has given me this time. But you are always welcome. Always love having you.
That's not what he said the other day. He said, "Oh, Algared can't come Monday. Let's do it Monday. Let's do it Monday."
Yeah, I can't come Monday.
But no, it's all
that's more what Execute would have said.
Yeah, you already
do Monday. We'll do Monday.
Algared knows. Algared knows.
He already said though. He goes, the wife won't let me stream.
It is what it's not that she won't let me. It's just playing with fire. You know what I mean? Fire. You have to know when to and when not to.
Yeah, got to catch in when to catch in the chips. What's that Johnny Cash song? Know when to hold him. Know when to run.
Yep, that's right.
All
to fold them.
All right, then.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're most welcome. So the voice in the void has been Grim. He's been Algared. Oh wait,
he's been Execute, and we're out here. But we've got to do the other stuff first.
Thing. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and everything the next roll at the end of the video on Patreon. With that, then,
because
all the things we said
love
before.
You all. He's Execute. We're out of here.
See you, citizens. Bye. Have a good week.